Welcome and thank you for joining us here at Sports Slumber. Tonight, we invite you to leave the busy world behind, to let go of the day, and to settle into a space of complete peace and quiet. Take a slow, deep breath in, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and let it out with a soft sigh. Allow your shoulders to drop. Allow your eyes to grow heavy. You are safe, you are warm, and there is nowhere else you need to be. As you continue to breathe slowly and evenly, you find yourself transported to a cool, quiet evening in Maryland. The sun has long since set, leaving behind a sky of deep, velvety indigo. A gentle, misty rain is falling, just enough to make the streets shine like dark mirrors under the soft amber glow of the streetlights. The air smells of damp earth and evening dew, a clean, fresh scent that relaxes your mind. You are walking slowly down a quiet sidewalk, your footsteps soft and muffled. The neighborhood is resting. The houses are dark, their windows holding only the faintest glimmers of nightlights and dying embers. You feel a deep sense of tranquility washing over you with every step you take. Up ahead, standing at the end of the street, is a familiar brick building. It is a community recreation center, solid and quiet in the night. The bricks are dark red, smoothed by years of weather, and the large glass doors at the front reflect the hazy glow of a single lamp post. You walk toward it, feeling a strange sense of comfort, as if you have been here 1,000 times before. The mist settles lightly on your jacket, cool and refreshing. You reach the heavy glass doors. They are usually locked at this hour, but tonight, one yields to your gentle touch. You pull it open, and the faint, familiar scent of polished hardwood and old leather greets you. You step inside, the door closing with a soft, muted click behind you, shutting out the cool night and the gentle sound of the rain. The lobby is dim, illuminated only by the soft, green glow of an exit sign. The floor beneath your feet is smooth tile, and your footsteps make barely a whisper as you walk down the hallway. To your right, there is a set of double wooden doors leading to the main gymnasium. They are propped open just a few inches. A warm, golden light spills through the gap, stretching out across the dark hallway tile in a long, comforting rectangle. From within, you hear a sound. It is a slow, rhythmic, hypnotic sound, a heavy, hollow thump echoing softly in the large, cavernous space. Thump, thump, thump. It is the sound of a basketball bouncing slowly and steadily against a hardwood floor. You walk to the doors and gently push one open, stepping into the gym. The space is vast and warm. Only a few of the large overhead lights are on, casting a soft, golden pool of illumination over one half of the basketball court, while the other half rests in gentle, comforting shadow. The air in here is warm and still, carrying the faint, nostalgic scent of floor wax and canvas. You stand near the entrance, leaning softly against the wall, taking in the scene. In the center of the pool of light, beneath the tall, white hoop, is a figure. It is a young boy, incredibly tall and thin, his silhouette long and graceful. He is moving with a slow, deliberate calmness, completely lost in his own world. He stands near the free throw line. He bounces the ball slowly. 1, 2, 3. Each bounce sends a deep, resonant sound echoing through the empty gym, a sound that vibrates gently in your chest, matching the steady rhythm of your own breathing. He spins the ball in his hands, feeling the familiar texture of the pebbled leather, finding the seams with his long, slender fingers. He bends his knees slightly, and with a motion as smooth as water flowing over a stone, he rises up. The ball leaves his fingertips with a soft, back-spinning arc. It travels through the warm air, a perfect curve before descending. Swish. The sound is delicate, a crisp rustle of white cotton netting. The ball drops to the hardwood below. Thump. It rolls gently back to him. You watch, mesmerized by the repetition. It is a quiet meditation. There is no crowd, no ticking clock, no scoreboard glaring with bright red numbers. There is only the boy, the ball, the wooden floor, and the iron rim. You walk slowly along the edge of the court, feeling the smooth, polished maple boards beneath your feet. The wood is a warm honey color, gleaming softly under the overhead lights. You can see the reflection of the tall boy moving across the glossy surface, a shadow dancing in slow motion. You find a spot on the bottom row of the wooden bleachers and sit down. The wood of the bleachers is older, worn smooth by countless visitors over the years. It feels solid and supportive beneath you. You rest your hands on your knees and simply watch. The tall boy retrieves the ball. He walks to the corner of the court. His movements are unhurried, graceful, and effortless. He turns to face the basket. He takes a deep breath, and you find yourself taking a deep breath with him, your lungs expanding, the warm air of the gym filling your chest. He exhales, and you exhale, sinking deeper into the wooden bench. He bounces the ball once. Thump. He brings it up, his elbow perfectly aligned, his wrist relaxed. He releases it. The ball sails through the air, turning slowly, the orange leather catching the golden light. Swish. Another perfect shot. The net barely moves as the ball passes through, dropping smoothly to the floor. He walks slowly to pick it up again. The gym is so quiet that you can hear the soft squeak of his rubber soles against the varnished wood, a gentle, friendly sound that speaks of dedication and quiet hours spent alone. You look up at the high ceiling. The metal rafters stretch across the vast space, disappearing into the shadows above. Tiny dust motes dance lazily in the beams of light, drifting down like microscopic snowflakes, turning slowly in the still air. Everything in this room feels timeless. Outside, the world might be rushing by, but in here, time has slowed to a crawl, measured only by the steady bounce of the ball and the soft rustle of the net. The boy moves to another spot on the court. He does not rush. He does not show frustration or excitement. He is perfectly balanced, perfectly calm. He is just a quiet kid finding peace in the simple, repetitive act of shooting the basketball. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the sounds wash over you. Thump, thump, the squeak of a shoe, the soft intake of breath, the gentle release. Swish. The sounds blend together into a soothing lullaby, a rhythmic cadence that clears your mind of all thoughts and worries. You open your eyes and look at the floor again. The lines painted on the maple wood are faded slightly, a soft white and a gentle blue defining the boundaries of this peaceful sanctuary. You trace the lines with your eyes, following the smooth curves of the three-point arc, the straight edges of the baseline, the perfect circle in the center of the court. The geometry of the space is comforting, ordered, and calm. The boy is now practicing his dribbling. He bends low, the ball bouncing rapidly but rhythmically between his hands. It creates a low, rumbling hum, a vibration you can feel in the floorboards beneath your feet. He moves slowly across the court, the ball an extension of his own body, rising and falling with perfect precision. Left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. The sound is constant, steady, like the gentle drumming of rain against a window pane. He stops at the top of the key. He straightens up, the ball coming to rest in his long hands. He wipes a bead of sweat from his forehead with the back of his arm, his breathing slow and controlled. He looks up at the rim. To him, the hoop must look as wide as an ocean. He brings the ball up again, that same flawless, fluid motion. He rises onto his toes, his body extending upward, long and graceful. The release is soft. The ball arcs high, almost disappearing into the shadows near the rafters before beginning its descent. It falls perfectly through the center of the iron ring. Swish. The sound is incredibly satisfying, a soft whisper of success in the quiet night. You lean back against the bleacher behind you, feeling your muscles relax completely. The tension in your neck melts away. Your hands rest loosely in your lap. The warmth of the gym surrounds you like a heavy, comforting blanket. You watch the boy move again. He is drifting toward the wing, his steps light and easy. He is a tall, slender shadow against the bright maple floor. He seems to glide more than he walks. He receives an imaginary pass, catches the ball, and squares his shoulders to the basket in one seamless motion. The repetition is hypnotic. Bounce, gather, rise, release, swish, over and over again. It is a quiet symphony of movement and sound, played out in the empty hours of the night. You notice the details of the basketball itself. As it rolls toward the boy, you can see the tiny pebbles on its surface designed to provide grip. You can see the black channels running across the orange leather, intersecting and curving. It is a simple object, yet in this quiet space, it is the center of a peaceful universe. The boy picks it up, turning it slowly until his fingers rest comfortably in the grooves. He holds it there for a moment, feeling the weight of it, the balance of it. He is completely present in this exact moment, completely focused on the simple task at hand. His calm energy radiates outward, filling the large, empty gym, reaching you where you sit on the bleachers, wrapping you in a sense of deep serenity. The soft hum of the overhead lights provides a constant, gentle background noise, a low frequency that hums in tune with the quiet night. Outside, the gentle rain continues to fall, though you cannot hear it over the sound of the ball. You can only imagine the cool mist settling on the brick walls, the wet leaves clinging to the pavement, the dark, empty streets winding through the sleeping neighborhood. Inside, it is dry and warm and safe. The boy moves to the free throw line again. He settles his feet, aligning them perfectly with the rim. He bounces the ball. Thump, thump, thump. He takes a deep breath. He bends his knees. He shoots. Swish. The ball drops softly to the floor and rolls away. You let your eyes wander around the gym. You see the folded-up bleachers on the opposite side, creating a wall of ridged wood and metal. You see the heavy canvas mats leaning against the far wall, thick and padded. You see the old manual scoreboard hanging high above, its numbers dark and resting. Everything in the room is asleep, except for you and the tall boy in the pool of golden light. And even he seems to be in a waking dream, moving with the slow, effortless grace of a sleepwalker. He retrieves the ball from the corner. He walks backward slowly, dribbling the ball casually between his legs. The sound is soft and rhythmic. He reaches the half-court line and turns around. He looks at the basket far away on the other side of the gym. He takes a few slow, loping steps forward, building a gentle momentum. He pulls up from far away, a smooth, effortless heave. The ball travels a long distance, a high, graceful arc that cuts through the dim air of the gym. It seems to hang in the air forever. Finally, it comes down, swish, a perfect shot from deep. The boy barely reacts. He simply walks forward to collect the ball again. His face is calm, relaxed, expressing only a quiet, deep contentment. This is his sanctuary. This is where he finds his peace. And as you watch him, you find your peace as well. The steady rhythm of his practice lulls your mind, clearing away the clutter of thoughts, leaving behind only a smooth, empty surface like the polished hardwood floor beneath you. You take another slow, deep breath, letting the warm air fill your chest. You exhale slowly, feeling yourself sink deeper into the bleachers. Your eyelids flutter, feeling heavier with each passing moment. The rhythmic sounds of the gym wash over you. Thump, squeak, swish. It is a lullaby written in rubber and leather and wood. The boy moves to the baseline now, standing in the corner where the shadows are deepest. He is almost hidden from view, just a tall silhouette against the dark wall. He shoots from the corner. The ball flies out of the shadows, passing through the golden light and drops into the net. Swish. He moves along the baseline, shooting from different angles, always with the same smooth, unhurried motion. The soft squeak of his shoes echoes gently off the brick walls. The sound of the ball hitting the floor provides a steady, comforting backbeat. You feel a profound sense of stillness settling over you. The world outside the gym has faded away completely. There is no yesterday, there is no tomorrow. There is only right now, this quiet moment, this peaceful space, this rhythmic, hypnotic repetition. You watch the dust motes drifting in the light again, mesmerized by their slow, chaotic dance. They float up and down, catching the light and sparkling softly before disappearing back into the shadows. They are like tiny, glowing embers floating in the warm air. The boy continues his circuit around the court. He moves to the top of the key again. He stops, holds the ball, and takes a long, slow breath. You match his breathing, inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. He bounces the ball once. Thump. He shoots. Swish. The sound is so crisp, so clean, it feels incredibly satisfying. You feel a soft smile playing on your lips. The light in the gym seems to grow warmer, softer, casting a golden hue over everything. The polished maple floor glows like honey. The orange basketball looks rich and vibrant. The white net hangs perfectly still, waiting for the next shot. The tall boy walks slowly toward the basket, picking up the ball. He stands under the rim for a moment, looking up at the metal ring and the white mesh. He reaches up with one long arm and lightly touches the bottom of the net. The cotton fibers are soft and worn. He lets his hand drop, turns around and begins to walk back to the free throw line. His movements are so smooth, so relaxed, it is as if he is floating over the floor. You feel a comfortable heaviness in your limbs. Your legs are relaxed, your arms rest loosely, your shoulders are completely dropped. The gentle rhythm of the basketball practice is lulling you into a state of deep relaxation. You close your eyes again just for a moment to let the sounds fully wash over you. You hear the slow, deliberate footsteps of the boy walking on the hardwood. You hear the deep, resonant bounce of the ball. Thump. You hear the soft, shifting sound of his shoes as he sets his feet. You hear the gentle swish of the net as the ball passes through perfectly. You hear the hollow thud of the ball hitting the floor beneath the basket. It is a cycle, a pattern, a comforting loop of sound that quiets the mind and soothes the soul. You open your eyes slowly, the light in the gym feeling soft and gentle on your vision. The boy is now working on his post moves near the basket. He turns his back to the imaginary defender, leaning his weight softly. He pivots slowly on one foot, spinning around with a fluid, graceful motion, and lays the ball gently against the glass backboard. It kisses the glass with a soft tap and drops through the net. The sound of the ball hitting the glass is different, a sharp, clean click that echoes briefly before fading away. He catches the ball before it hits the floor and repeats the motion on the other side. Tap, swish. The quiet efficiency of his movements is mesmerizing. There is no wasted energy, no sudden jerks or stops. Everything flows together perfectly, a continuous stream of motion. You lean your head back against the bleacher, feeling the smooth wood against your hair. You watch the ceiling fans slowly turning high above, their long blades cutting through the warm air with a faint, rhythmic swoosh. The sound blends with the gentle hum of the lights and the steady bouncing of the ball, creating a rich, textured layer of background noise that wraps around you like a cocoon. You feel completely secure, completely hidden away from the world in this vast, quiet space. The boy moves away from the basket, drifting out toward the three-point line again. He catches the ball, squares up, and shoots. Swish. Another perfect shot. He seems unable to miss, his mechanics so deeply ingrained they have become automatic, thoughtless, completely natural. He stands at the top of the key, holding the ball against his hip. He looks around the empty gym, his eyes scanning the dark bleachers, the shadowed corners, the high windows. He seems to be drinking in the quietness, absorbing the peace of the empty space. He takes a deep breath, his chest expanding slowly. He lets it out, his shoulders dropping. He brings the ball up with both hands, spinning it slowly, looking at the seams. He is in no hurry. He has all the time in the world. The night is long and the gym is his. He begins to dribble again, a slow, low crossover. Left, right, left, right. The ball thumps against the wood, a heartbeat in the silent room. You watch the way the light catches the polish on the floor, creating long, glowing reflections that stretch toward you. The whole room seems to breathe, expanding and contracting with the rhythm of the ball. You feel yourself drifting, floating on the gentle currents of sound and motion. Your mind is quiet, empty, perfectly calm. The boy continues to dribble, moving slowly across the top of the key. He stops, raises up, and releases the ball. The arc is high and beautiful, a perfect parabola cutting through the dim light. You watch it fall, waiting for that satisfying sound. Swish. It drops through without touching the rim, a clean, perfect shot. The boy walks to the basket, his long strides covering the distance quickly but smoothly. He picks up the ball and stands under the rim, bouncing it slowly off the glass backboard. Tap, catch, tap, catch. It is a gentle, playful rhythm, different from the focused intensity of his shooting practice. He is just enjoying the feeling of the ball in his hands, the sound of it hitting the glass, the quiet echo in the empty room. You watch him, feeling a deep sense of connection to this quiet moment, this simple act of finding joy in repetition and solitude. The air in the gym feels thick and warm, wrapping around you, holding you gently. You close your eyes once more, letting the darkness wash over you. You focus entirely on the sounds, the soft tap of the ball against the glass, the gentle squeak of a rubber sole, the faint hum of the lights, the slow, rhythmic swoosh of the ceiling fans. You feel your breathing slow down, matching the relaxed, unhurried pace of the boy's movements. You are sinking deeper and deeper into a state of profound peace. The world outside does not matter. The worries of the day have vanished, replaced by the simple, comforting reality of this quiet gym, this tall boy, and the endless, soothing repetition of his practice. You breathe in the scent of floor wax and old leather, a comforting, nostalgic aroma that makes you feel entirely at home. When you open your eyes again, the boy has moved back to the free throw line. He is repeating his routine, the same series of movements over and over. He bounces the ball 3 times. He spins it in his hands. He bends his knees. He shoots. Swish. It is a ritual, a calming meditation that anchors him in the present moment. And as you watch him, it anchors you too. You feel grounded, steady, completely at ease. The light in the gym seems to dim slightly, the shadows growing longer, softer, stretching further across the polished floor. The golden pool of light around the basket feels warmer, more inviting. The boy walks to the side of the court near the scorekeeper's table. There is a small white towel resting on the edge of the table. He picks it up and gently wipes his face and neck. He moves slowly, deliberately. He sets the towel down and picks up a water bottle. He takes a long, slow drink, his throat working gently. He sets the bottle down and picks up the basketball again. He walks back onto the court, his footsteps soft on the hardwood. He looks refreshed, renewed, ready to continue his quiet, solitary work. He moves to the wing, catches the ball, and shoots. Swish. You watch the way the shadows shift as he moves, stretching and contracting on the polished floor. You watch the way the light glints off the rim, a tiny spark of silver in the golden glow. You watch the gentle sway of the net after the ball passes through, a slow, pendulum-like motion that is incredibly relaxing to observe. Everything in the room is moving at a slow, gentle pace, a rhythm that encourages rest and sleep. You feel a soft breeze from the ceiling fans wash over you, cool and refreshing against the warmth of the gym. The boy continues his circuit, moving from spot to spot, shooting, rebounding, walking slowly back. His focus is absolute yet completely relaxed. He is not forcing anything. He is simply letting the movements flow through him, a natural expression of his long, graceful body. You watch the slow extension of his arm, the soft flick of his wrist, the high, perfect arc of the ball. It is a beautiful thing to witness, a quiet display of skill and dedication that brings a deep sense of peace to your soul. You feel your eyelids growing heavier and heavier. The sounds of the gym are becoming slightly muffled, distant, as if they are coming to you through a thick layer of soft cotton. The rhythmic thumping of the ball is like a heartbeat, slow and steady. Thump, thump, thump. It lulls you, comforts you, tells you that everything is all right, that you are safe, that you can finally let go and rest. The boy moves to the corner again, disappearing into the shadows. You wait for the sound. You know it is coming, the soft squeak of the shoe, the gentle release, the quiet arc through the air, and then finally the sound you are waiting for. Swish. It is a sound that signifies completion, a perfect ending to a graceful movement. You smile softly in the dim light, feeling completely at peace. You watch the dust motes again, drifting in the beam of light. They seem to be moving even slower now, turning lazily in the warm air. They are hypnotizing, drawing your attention away from everything else, pulling you deeper into a state of quiet trance. The boy walks slowly to the center of the court. He stands on the painted logo, looking around the empty space. He dribbles the ball slowly, aimlessly, just letting it bounce between his hands. The sound is soft, almost gentle. He is cooling down, his movements becoming even more relaxed, more lethargic. You feel your own body mirroring his relaxation, your muscles loosening, your breathing slowing down to a deep, restful rhythm. The light in the gym feels like a warm embrace, wrapping around you, holding you safe. You listen to the hum of the overhead lights, a constant, steady drone that fills the silence, a white noise that blocks out any remaining thoughts or worries. You listen to the soft swoosh of the ceiling fans, a gentle, rhythmic sound that feels like a quiet sigh. You listen to the final, slow bounces of the basketball, the sound echoing softly in the large, empty space. Thump, thump, thump. The boy catches the ball and holds it against his side. He stands perfectly still for a long moment, simply breathing, simply existing in the quiet peacefulness of the empty gym. You watch his slow, steady breaths, feeling your own chest rise and fall in perfect synchronization. He slowly begins to walk toward the far end of the court, away from the light into the gentle shadows. His footsteps are soft, muffled, barely making a sound on the hardwood floor. You watch him go, his tall silhouette gradually fading into the dimness. The gym feels incredibly peaceful now, incredibly still. The air is warm and heavy, filled with the scent of wood and wax and quiet dedication. You lean your head back again, closing your eyes, letting the darkness take over. The gentle hum of the lights, the soft swoosh of the fans, the lingering memory of the rhythmic bouncing ball all blend together into a soothing, sleepy melody. You feel yourself drifting, floating, carried away on a gentle tide of relaxation, moving further and further into a state of deep, restorative rest, while the quiet kid continues his slow, silent walk across the shadowed floor, his long steps taking him deeper into the peaceful sanctuary of the night, leaving only the warmth and the quiet echoes behind in the empty, golden-lit room, where the dust motes slowly settle onto the polished maple wood. And the white cottonette hangs perfectly still in the quiet air, waiting for the next soft, perfect release, as the gentle rain continues to fall outside, tapping softly against the high, dark windows, a quiet rhythm that matches the steady beating of your heart, slow, calm, and perfectly at peace in this hidden, safe space, far away from the noise and rush of the daytime world, settling down, sinking in, breathing out, and letting the quiet calm of the empty gymnasium wash over you completely, filling your mind with a soft, glowing emptiness, a warm, golden void where only the gentlest sounds remain, the softest echoes of a basketball bouncing slowly against the floor, thump, 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 growing quieter and quieter as the boy moves further away, disappearing into the comforting embrace of the shadows, leaving you alone in the quiet light, feeling perfectly safe, perfectly relaxed, and entirely ready to drift away into a deep, peaceful slumber, surrounded by the scent of old wood and the soft, comforting hum of the warm air gently circulating through the vast, quiet space, while the memory of the perfect, high-arcing shot replays slowly in your mind, a graceful, effortless motion ending in a soft, satisfying swish, a sound that brings a deep, lasting feeling of contentment and calm, a feeling that spreads through your chest and down into your fingertips, loosening every muscle, untying every knot of tension, and leaving you feeling light, airy, and completely weightless, resting softly on the smooth, worn wood of the old bleachers, as the night stretches out long and quiet before you, offering hours of deep, unbroken rest in this peaceful sanctuary, where time stands still, and the only thing that matters is the slow, steady rhythm of your own breath, drawing in the warm, calming air, and releasing it softly back into the quiet room, joining the gentle hum of the lights and the soft swoosh of the fans in a quiet, sleepy chorus that lulls you deeper and deeper into a state of complete and utter tranquility, as the tall, quiet boy continues his unseen journey through the shadowed half of the court, his presence still felt in the peaceful energy he leaves behind, a quiet dedication that resonates in the very floorboards beneath you, grounding you, comforting you, and telling you that everything is exactly as it should be, here in this quiet, hidden place, where the world is reduced to the simple, beautiful elements of a smooth wooden floor, a worn orange basketball, a perfectly still white net, and the deep, profound peace of a quiet night spent resting, letting go, and drifting slowly, gently, peacefully away. You remain completely still on the smooth wooden bleachers, letting the profound silence of the vast room wash over you. The tall boy has stepped fully into the shadowed half of the court, becoming just a faint, long silhouette against the dark brick wall. You cannot see his features, only the graceful, unhurried geometry of his shape as he moves. He sits down gently on the polished hardwood, his long legs stretching out before him. He places the basketball beside him, resting his hand lightly on its curved, pebbled surface. The gym is so quiet now that you can hear the faint, soft sound of his deep, steady breathing. It is a slow, rhythmic draw of air that perfectly matches the slow, rhythmic drawing of your own breath. You inhale the warm, waxy scent of the floorboards, feeling your chest rise, and you exhale, feeling your shoulders drop even further, any remaining tension melting away into the solid, supportive wood beneath you. You are enveloped in a cocoon of safety and warmth. The overhead lights hum their low, constant melody. It is a sound so steady and unchanging that it becomes a physical sensation, a gentle vibration that you feel in the air around you, wrapping around your shoulders like a heavy, comforting blanket. You watch the dust motes continuing their endless, lazy dance in the beams of golden light. They drift without purpose, floating on the invisible currents of warm air created by the slow, sweeping blades of the ceiling fans high above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sound is like the distant breathing of a gentle giant, watching over this quiet sanctuary. You let your gaze wander up to the rafters, following the lines of steel that crisscross the dark ceiling. They look strong and protective, holding the roof steady against the misty rain that continues to fall outside. You can barely hear the rain now, just a soft, muffled whispering against the high, frosted windows, a reminder of the cool, damp world you have left behind for this warm, golden refuge. The boy in the shadows shifts slightly. You hear the soft, dry sound of his cotton shirt rustling and the faint squeak of his rubber sole against the floor. He takes the basketball and pushes it gently across the wood. The ball rolls slowly, a continuous low rumble of leather turning over and over on the polished maple. It rolls out of the shadows and into the pool of golden light, illuminating the black channels and the orange surface. It travels in a straight, perfect line, moving slower and slower until it comes to a gentle stop near the center circle. The sound of its rolling fades into the quiet, leaving behind a perfectly still room. You look at the ball sitting there, illuminated like a single, quiet planet in a vast wooden solar system. The geometry of the court surrounds it, the solid blue lines, the crisp white curves, the smooth, honey-colored wood. It is a picture of perfect, ordered calm. You feel an overwhelming sense of contentment. There is nothing to do, nothing to solve, nothing to worry about. The night has paused, granting you this infinite stretch of peaceful time. You lean your back against the bleacher behind you, feeling the cool, worn wood against your spine. You stretch your legs out, letting your feet rest lightly on the floorboards below. Your hands are open and relaxed in your lap. You close your eyes again, sinking into the darkness behind your eyelids. In this darkness, the sounds of the gym become even more pronounced, more detailed. You hear the distinct, subtle hum of the different light fixtures, some slightly higher in pitch, some lower, blending together into a soothing, drone-like chord. You hear the settling of the old building, a faint creak from the bleachers, a soft groan from the rafters, the sound of a structure resting deeply in the night. You open your eyes to a narrow slit, letting just a sliver of the golden light enter your vision. The tall boy has stood up. He walks slowly out of the shadows, moving toward the ball in the center of the court. His steps are languid, heavy with a comfortable tiredness. He has worked hard and now he is winding down, moving through the final, soothing routines of his night. He reaches the ball and bends at the waist, his long arms hanging down effortlessly. He scoops the ball up with one hand, his long fingers spreading wide to grip the leather. He straightens up, bringing the ball to his chest, holding it close. He turns to look at the nearest hoop, the one bathed in the warm light. He does not move toward it. He just stands there on the center logo, looking at the orange rim and the motionless white net. You watch him watching the hoop. It is a moment of quiet connection between the player and the game, a moment stripped of all competition and noise, leaving only a deep, silent appreciation. You feel that appreciation too. You look at the hoop, noticing the way the orange paint on the rim is chipped in tiny places, revealing the gray steel underneath. You notice how the white cotton net is slightly frayed at the bottom, soft and worn from the thousands of times the ball has passed through it. It looks like a gentle funnel, waiting patiently to guide the ball softly to the ground. It is a comforting shape, familiar and safe. The boy begins to walk again. He does not dribble. He simply walks holding the ball, taking slow, deliberate steps toward the basket. His rubber shoes make a soft, rhythmic padding sound. Pad, 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 it is a sleepy marching rhythm. He reaches the free throw line and stops. He holds the ball out in front of him, turning it slowly with both hands. He is examining it, feeling the texture, finding the balance. He takes a deep, slow breath, his chest rising beneath his loose shirt. You mirror his breath, inhaling the calm air of the gym, feeling it expand your lungs and exhaling softly, letting go of any tiny, lingering thoughts. He raises the ball above his head. He does not jump. He simply pushes it forward with a soft, gentle flick of his wrists. The ball travels in a flat, lazy arc, completely different from his earlier intense shots. It hits the front of the rim with a dull, hollow clank. The sound is not jarring. It is simply a variation in the quiet symphony of the room. The ball bounces softly off the rim, hits the backboard with a gentle tap and falls through the net. Swish. It is a slower, more deliberate swish, the net grabbing the ball for a fraction of a second before letting it drop. The ball hits the floor with a soft thud and rolls away toward the padded wall. The boy does not chase it, he lets it go. He turns around and begins to walk back toward the center of the court. His shoulders are slumped in a relaxed, easy posture. His arms swing loosely by his sides. He looks completely at peace, completely drained of tension. You watch his retreating figure, feeling a deep, empathetic relaxation. His calmness is contagious, spreading across the wide, wooden floor and washing over you in gentle, invisible waves. You feel your eyelids growing impossibly heavy. The golden light of the gym seems to soften even more, blurring at the edges, turning the room into a hazy, warm dreamscape. You shift slightly on the bleachers, finding an even more comfortable position. The wood seems to mold to your shape, holding you securely. You listen to the sound of the boy's soft footsteps, padding away, fatting slightly as he reaches the center circle. He stops again, turning his back to you, looking toward the dark, unlit half of the gym. He stands there like a quiet sentinel, guarding the peace of the night. You close your eyes fully now, deciding to simply listen, to let the auditory landscape of the gym carry you further into rest. The hum of the lights, the swoosh of the fans, the faint, distant whisper of the misty rain, these are the sounds of your sanctuary. They are a constant, reassuring presence, a reminder that the world outside is asleep, and that it is perfectly safe for you to sleep as well. You focus on the feeling of your own breathing, in and out, slow and steady, a gentle rising and falling like the calm surface of a quiet lake. You imagine the air you are breathing is colored with the warm, golden light of the gym, filling your body with a soft, glowing warmth that starts in your chest and radiates slowly outward. The warmth travels down your arms, relaxing your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your hands. Your fingers uncurl completely, resting weightlessly on your legs. The warmth travels down your torso, relaxing your stomach, your lower back, your hips. You feel yourself sinking heavier and heavier into the wooden bench, supported and secure. The warmth travels down your legs, relaxing your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet. Every muscle, every fiber, every nerve is gently quieted, bathed in the soothing, golden calm of the gymnasium. In the distance, you hear a new sound. It is a slow, rhythmic sweeping sound. S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H. You open your eyes just a sliver to look. The tall boy has picked up a wide, soft-bristled dust mop. He is slowly pushing it across the polished hardwood floor, walking in long, lazy lines. He is cleaning the court, a final act of care and respect for the space that brings him so much peace. The motion is incredibly hypnotic. He pushes the mop forward, a slow, steady glide gathering unseen dust. He turns, walking back the other way, another smooth, overlapping line. You watch the way he moves, swaying slightly from side to side, a gentle pendulum motion. The mop glides over the painted lines, over the honey-colored maple, leaving behind a flawless, gleaming surface. The sound of the soft bristles against the wood is like a quiet whisper, a soothing S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H that lulls your mind. It sounds like the gentle lapping of waves on a sandy shore, a steady, repetitive rhythm that washes away any thoughts. You watch the trail of the mop. The way the floor seems to shine just a little bit brighter behind it, reflecting the warm overhead lights. He moves methodically without any rush. He sweeps the top of the key, moving in wide arcs. He sweeps the wings, following the curve of the three-point line. He sweeps the baseline, moving parallel to the padded wall. Every movement is deliberate, careful, and deeply calming to watch. It is a ritual of restoration, putting the gym back to sleep, making it perfect and still. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this quiet moment, for the opportunity to witness this peaceful, solitary routine. You let your eyes close again, unable to keep them open any longer. The visual image of the boy sweeping remains in your mind, a soft, hazy memory playing on a continuous loop. You listen to the whispering sound of the mop. S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H. It blends seamlessly with the hum of the lights and the swoosh of the fans. It is a lullaby composed of simple, everyday sounds, elevated to something magical by the quietness of the night. You feel a profound sense of emptiness in your mind, a spacious, comfortable void where worries and thoughts simply cannot exist. You are floating now, untethered from the world, drifting on the gentle sounds of the gymnasium. You feel the cool, solid wood of the bleachers beneath you, a grounding anchor in the soft sea of relaxation. You are aware of your body, but it feels distant, heavy, and perfectly comfortable. You breathe in the scent of the floor wax and the faint, dusty smell of the canvas mats. It is a comforting, nostalgic aroma, the smell of quiet afternoons and peaceful evenings, a smell that speaks of safety and rest. The sweeping sound continues, slowly moving across the vast expanse of the floor. You try to follow it with your ears, imagining where the boy is standing, picturing the long, overlapping lines he is creating on the wood. Now he is near the center circle. Now he is moving toward the other side into the shadows. The sound becomes slightly fainter, slightly softer as he moves further away. S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H, S-H-H-H. It is a fading echo, a gentle reminder of the quiet work being done while you rest. You feel a soft breeze brush against your cheek. It is a cool, gentle draft, perhaps from the ceiling fans, or perhaps from an old vent hidden in the brick walls. It feels refreshing against the warmth of the room, a tiny contrast that makes the cozy atmosphere feel even more inviting. You lean your head back, letting it rest completely. You feel a deep, heavy relaxation settling into your jaw, your cheeks, your forehead. Your face is completely slack, completely at peace. The sounds of the gym begin to merge together into a single, unified blanket of white noise. The hum, the swoosh, the gentle whispering of the mop. It is a continuous, unbroken wave of sound that carries you gently towards sleep. You do not fight it, you welcome it. You let go of the last tiny threads of wakefulness, allowing yourself to surrender completely to the heavy, comforting embrace of the night. You are safe. You are warm. You are in a quiet sanctuary, far away from the demands of the world. The boy has finished sweeping. You hear the soft clatter of the wooden mop handle as he leans it gently against the wall. The sound echoes briefly, a quiet punctuation mark at the end of his quiet labor. Then, silence returns, deeper and more profound than before. It is a thick, velvety silence, filled only by the eternal hum of the lights and the slow breathing of the fans. The gym is perfectly still, perfectly clean, perfectly at rest. You wait for a moment, listening. You hear the slow, padding sound of his rubber shoes again. He is walking back toward the center of the court. His steps are slower now, almost hesitant, as if he is reluctant to break the perfect stillness he has just created. He walks to the center circle and stops. You open your eyes one last time, just a heavy, languid flutter of your eyelids to look at him. He is standing in the middle of the glowing maple floor, a tall, silent statue in the golden light. He is looking around the vast, empty room, taking it all in, absorbing the peace. He raises his head slightly, looking up at the high, vaulted ceiling, looking at the crisscrossing rafters and the slow-moving fans. He seems to be saying a quiet goodbye to the space, a silent thank you for the sanctuary it has provided. He lowers his head, turns slowly, and begins to walk toward the exit. He walks past the hoop with the white, motionless net. He walks past the bleachers where you are sitting, his shadow stretching out long and soft across the floor. He does not see you. You are just a quiet observer, a hidden presence in his peaceful world. You watch him walk toward the heavy double wooden doors. He pushes one open gently. It swings outward with a soft, muted groan of old hinges. He steps through, leaving the warm, golden light of the gym, and disappears into the dim, green-lit hallway. The heavy wooden door swings slowly shut behind him, closing with a soft, definitive click. The click echoes softly through the vast room, a final, quiet sound that signals the end of the night's quiet activity. You are alone in the gym now. The stillness is absolute. The golden light continues to shine softly, illuminating the perfect, gleaming, freshly swept floor. The orange rim waits silently. The white net hangs motionless. The air is warm and still, filled with the comforting scent of wax and wood. You close your eyes, this time for good. You feel a profound, overwhelming sense of sleepiness wrapping around you. The silence of the empty gym is like a heavy, velvet curtain falling over your mind, shutting out everything but the pure, deep sensation of rest. You listen to the hum of the lights. It is the only sound left, a constant, steady drone that feels like it is vibrating inside your own chest. It is a deeply soothing, hypnotic sound, a lullaby without words, singing only of peace and stillness. You let your breathing slow down even further, matching the slow, endless hum of the room. You are sinking, drifting, floating away on a gentle tide of deep, restorative sleep. The bleachers hold you safe. The warm air blankets you. The golden light, even behind your closed eyes, provides a soft, comforting glow. You imagine the polished floor stretching out before you, an endless, smooth sea of honey-colored wood. You imagine the tall ceiling above you, a vast, dark sky holding you in its quiet embrace. You imagine the boy, walking slowly home through the misty rain, carrying the peace of the gym with him. You are part of this peaceful night, a quiet participant in this sanctuary of stillness. You feel every muscle in your body let go, completely relaxed, completely heavy, completely at rest. There is nothing to do but sleep. There is nowhere to be but here. The quiet gym surrounds you, protects you, lulls you. The deep, heavy peace of the night settles into your bones, quieting your mind, soothing your spirit. You drift further and further down, deeper and deeper into the quiet, dark, comforting depths of slumber. The hum of the lights fades into the background. The feeling of the wooden bleachers melts away. There is only rest, pure, deep, unbroken rest, waiting for you in the quiet heart of the empty gymnasium, as you surrender entirely to the slow, gentle, endless rhythm of a perfect, peaceful night. As the soft, muted click of the heavy wooden door fades into the vastness of the gymnasium, you are left in a state of absolute, uninterrupted solitude. The space around you feels even larger now, a gentle cavern of warmth and golden light. With the tall boy gone, the room seems to exhale, releasing any lingering energy of movement or effort, settling down into a state of profound, motionless rest. You remain perfectly still on the worn wooden bleachers, feeling as though you have become a natural part of this quiet sanctuary. The wood beneath you is solid and unyielding, yet incredibly comfortable, curving slightly to hold your tired frame. You feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for this hidden, peaceful space, a secret pocket of the world where time has simply decided to stop. The low, electrical hum of the overhead lights seems to deepen, shifting into a lower, richer frequency that vibrates gently against your collarbones. It is a constant, droning lullaby, a sound so steady and predictable that your mind easily wraps itself around it, allowing it to drown out any stray thoughts or worries that might try to surface. You focus entirely on this hum. It is the sound of safety. It is the sound of a building standing strong and warm against the cool night air. You let your breathing synchronize with it, inhaling the warm, waxy air slowly, and exhaling with a soft, quiet sigh that disappears into the vastness of the room. Your chest rises and falls with a natural, effortless rhythm, each breath drawing you further and further down into a state of heavy, dreamless relaxation. Below you, the basketball court stretches out like a tranquil, frozen lake of honey-colored maple. The floor is absolutely flawless after being carefully swept. The golden light from the few illuminated fixtures above pools on the surface, creating bright, glowing patches that reflect the painted white and blue lines with perfect clarity. There are no scuff marks, no footprints, no signs of the quiet practice that took place just moments ago. It is a blank canvas of polished wood, completely undisturbed, waiting patiently for tomorrow that feels a million miles away. You let your gaze drift slowly across the smooth expanse, following the wide curve of the three-point line, a perfect arc that leads your eyes gently from one side of the court to the other. The geometry of the space is soothing, predictable, and perfectly balanced. You look toward the far basket, the one still bathed in the pool of amber light. The orange rim is a stark, solitary circle against the dark padding of the wall behind it. Hanging beneath it, the white cotton net is perfectly plumb, absolutely motionless. Not a single fiber stirs in the still air. It looks soft and ghostly in the dim light, a quiet monument to the hundreds of perfect shots that have passed through it. You imagine the soft, satisfying swish sound one more time, letting the memory of it wash over your tired mind like a gentle wave. The memory brings a faint, sleepy smile to your lips. You can almost feel the soft texture of the cotton netting against your fingertips, worn and familiar, a texture that speaks of endless patience and quiet dedication. Outside the thick brick walls, the gentle, misty rain continues its quiet descent upon the sleeping neighborhood. You cannot see the rain, but in the deep silence of the empty gym, you can just barely begin to hear it again. It is a delicate, rhythmic tapping against the high, frosted glass windows near the ceiling. Tap, tap, tap. The sound is incredibly faint, muffled by the thick glass and the vast distance of the room, but it is there, a soothing, aquatic undertone to the dry hum of the lights. You picture the tiny droplets gathering on the cool glass, merging together, and tracing slow, silent paths down the panes before disappearing into the darkness. The thought of the cool, wet night outside only makes the dry, golden warmth of the gymnasium feel that much more inviting, that much more protective. The old building begins to settle as the night deepens. You hear a soft, drawn-out groan from one of the massive steel rafters high above, a sound of heavy metal expanding ever so slightly in the warm, trapped air. It is a slow, sleepy sound, like a giant shifting comfortably in its bed. Somewhere in the dark, unlit half of the gym, a wooden floorboard gives a tiny, muffled tick, a subtle release of pressure. These sounds are not startling. They are the natural, comforting vocabulary of an old structure resting. They remind you that you are sheltered, held securely within walls that have stood firm through countless quiet nights just like this one. You sink a fraction of an inch deeper into the bleachers, letting the solid weight of the building anchor you in place. You close your eyes, deciding to completely let go of the visual world. The darkness behind your eyelids is soft and velvety, tinted slightly by the ambient golden light of the room. Without your sight, your other senses gently expand, stretching out to fill the empty space. The smell of the floor wax seems richer now, a clean, nostalgic scent that reminds you of simple routines and quiet hallways. It mixes perfectly with the faint, dusty aroma of the thick canvas mats stacked in the corner, a smell that carries memories of soft landings and gentle rests. You breathe these scents in deeply, letting them fill your lungs, letting them tell your body that there is absolutely nowhere else you need to be, and absolutely nothing else you need to do. The heavy, comforting lethargy that began in your toes has now traveled fully upward, enveloping your entire body in a thick, warm blanket of relaxation. Your legs feel as heavy as stone, perfectly immovable on the wooden planks. Your arms hang loosely, your fingers completely uncurled and resting softly in your lap. The tension in your shoulders has completely dissolved, allowing them to drop naturally away from your ears. Even the tiny muscles around your eyes and jaw are completely slack. You are entirely weightless in your mind, yet comfortably, heavily grounded in your body. You feel as though you are floating on a calm, dark sea, gently supported by the warm air and the steady, endless hum of the gymnasium. Minutes stretch into hours, though time has lost all meaning in this quiet space. The concept of hours and minutes dissolves into the continuous flowing present moment. There is only the hum of the lights, the faint tap of the rain, the slow, rhythmic beat of your own heart. Thump, thump, thump. Your heartbeat is slow and steady, mirroring the calm, deliberate pace of the quiet kid who was here before you. You have absorbed his peaceful energy, taking it into yourself, letting it quiet your spirit. The gentle rhythm of the empty gym carries you forward, a slow, lazy river of sound and sensation that is gently but inevitably pulling you toward the edge of sleep. You feel a soft, subtle shift in the air, a microscopic breeze generated by the slow-turning ceiling fans high above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The invisible current brushes against your forehead, cool and incredibly gentle like the softest touch of a feather. It sweeps away the last remaining fragments of thought, leaving your mind completely clear, a vast, open sky of pure, peaceful emptiness. You do not try to hold on to anything. You simply let go, surrendering to the heavy, pulling sensation of slumber. The darkness around you feels rich and protective. The hum of the lights becomes a distant, fatting echo. You are safe, you are warm, you are completely at peace, drifting slowly, beautifully, effortlessly down into the quiet, welcoming depths of a long and restful night. You drift effortlessly within this sea of quiet, a gentle passenger on the slow, invisible currents of the warm air. The gymnasium has completely surrendered to the night, becoming a vast, hollow vessel of peace. You feel the deep, resonant stillness not just around you, but within you. It settles into the very marrow of your bones, a heavy, wonderful lethargy that anchors you safely to the smooth, worn wood of the bleachers. There is no urgency here. There is only the long, stretching expanse of the present moment, infinite and unhurried. You let out another long, slow breath, feeling your chest fall, and with it, the last microscopic fragments of wakefulness gently detach and float away into the golden haze of the room. As your eyes remain closed, the map of the gymnasium lives on in your mind, painted in soft, glowing colors. You can perfectly picture the sweeping arcs of the three-point lines, painted in that faded, gentle blue. You can trace them in your imagination, following the smooth curves from the baseline, up toward the top of the key and back down again. The symmetry is deeply comforting. It is a space designed for order, for repetition, for the quiet pursuit of perfection. You imagine the center circle, a perfect ring of painted wood resting perfectly in the middle of the floor, perfectly balanced. Your mind rests in that center circle, finding a quiet focal point in the middle of the vastness, a place of complete and utter equilibrium. The gentle patter of the rain outside seems to have found a new, even softer rhythm. It is no longer a distinct tapping, but a continuous hushed whisper against the high glass panes. It sounds like a chorus of tiny, soft voices shushing the world to sleep. SHHH. 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 It is a comforting barrier between you and the outside world, a liquid curtain that washes away the noise and the rush of the city beyond. You imagine the cool mist clinging to the dark red bricks of the building, the wet leaves resting heavily on the pavement, the damp earth drinking in the quiet shower. And here you are, safely tucked away inside, cocooned in the dry, waxy warmth of the gymnasium. The contrast makes you feel incredibly secure, incredibly sheltered. Your attention drifts lazily toward the scorekeeper's table on the near sideline, its shape a soft, dark rectangle in your mind's eye. You remember the small, white towel resting neatly on its edge, perfectly still. You remember the plastic water bottle, catching a tiny glint of the overhead amber light. These objects are completely at rest, their purposes fulfilled for the day. They sit in the quiet dark, keeping watch over the empty floor. The large, manual scoreboard hanging high above the bleachers on the opposite wall is a dark, sleeping giant. Its numbers are blank, its lights extinguished. There is no score to keep, no time to track, no buzzer waiting to sound. The game is over and only the peace remains. You feel the subtle, comforting weight of the air pressing gently against your skin. It is thick with the history of the room, carrying the faint, sweet scent of floor polish and the deep, earthy aroma of the heavy canvas mats leaning against the far wall. It is the smell of countless quiet practices, of solitary hours spent repeating the same simple motions over and over again. You breathe it in, letting the nostalgic scent fill you with a profound sense of belonging. You belong here, in this quiet hour, in this peaceful state of rest. The building recognizes your stillness and welcomes it, wrapping its heavy, brick arms around you in a silent, protective embrace. In the gentle darkness of your mind, the memory of the basketball net sways ever so slightly, a ghost of a movement. You hear the phantom sound of the perfect swish, a soft, crisp rustle that echoes through the corridors of your memory. Swish. It is a deeply satisfying sound, a sound of completion and harmony. You let the sound ripple through you, a pebble dropped into the calm pond of your consciousness. The ripples spread outward, relaxing every muscle they touch. They wash over your heavy shoulders, down your relaxed arms, and out through your open, resting fingertips. They wash down your spine, releasing any tension hiding in the small of your back, and flow down your legs, heavy and still against the wooden bench. The low, droning hum of the overhead lights is your constant companion, a faithful, unchanging note that grounds you in the room. It is a warm, amber sound, vibrating at a frequency that speaks directly to your nervous system, telling it to slow down, to let go, to sleep. You feel the hum in your jaw, allowing your teeth to part slightly, your tongue resting softly behind them. You feel the hum in your forehead, smoothing away any tiny creases, leaving your brow perfectly relaxed and clear. The sound is a heavy blanket, tucking you in, shielding you from any stray thoughts that might try to wander into your quiet mind. High above, the ceiling fans continue their slow, eternal rotation. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The invisible currents of air they create fall gently over you, a slow, rhythmic tide that washes over the bleachers. It is a tactile lullaby, a soft, repetitive touch that reassures you of your safety. You imagine the giant blades slicing lazily through the warm air, turning and turning, an endless cycle of gentle motion in a room of complete stillness. The sound blends perfectly with the hum of the lights and the whisper of the rain, creating a rich, textured symphony of silence. The shadows in the far corners of the gymnasium seem to grow softer, richer, reaching out slowly to claim the edges of the golden light. They are not frightening shadows, but warm, velvety pools of deep comfort. You imagine sinking into those shadows, letting the darkness fold over you like a thick, downy quilt. You feel yourself slipping closer and closer to that deep, restorative slumber. The edges of your awareness begin to blur, the sounds of the gym becoming muffled and distant, as if you are slowly sinking beneath the surface of a warm, quiet pool. You are completely untethered, drifting peacefully in the beautiful, empty vastness of the night, guided only by the slow, steady rhythm of your own calm, resting breath. You trace the invisible pathways of the wood grain beneath your resting fingertips. The bleachers, worn incredibly smooth by decades of quiet observers and tired players, feel less like simple planks of maple and more like living, breathing extensions of the peaceful earth. You can feel the subtle, microscopic ridges of the wood, the ancient growth rings of a tree that once stood in a silent, misty forest long before it became a part of this sanctuary. It is a comforting thought, realizing that you are resting upon a piece of nature that has simply changed its shape, continuing its long, slow existence in this warm, golden room. The wood is cool, yet it seems to absorb and reflect your own gentle body heat, creating a perfect, harmonious temperature that keeps you firmly anchored in your state of heavy relaxation. You press your hands softly against the smooth surface, grounding yourself in the undeniable reality of this quiet moment. The tension that you didn't even know you were still holding in your forearms and wrists melts away, seeping into the wood and vanishing forever. The air in the gymnasium is a masterpiece of stillness. It is heavy, rich, and deeply textured with the faint, soothing aromas of the space. You breathe in, taking a slow, expansive draft of the warm atmosphere. It tastes of polished wax, a clean, nostalgic scent that speaks of care and order and quiet routines. Beneath the wax, there is the dry, earthy smell of the thick canvas mats leaning in the far corner, a smell that reminds you of soft landings and safety. And even fainter still, woven into the very fabric of the air, is the distant, subtle scent of old leather from the basketballs resting quietly in their metal carts. These scents do not compete. They blend together into a single, seamless perfume of peace. With every slow, deliberate exhale, you release a tiny puff of warm air that joins the invisible currents of the room, becoming a part of the gentle, circulating breeze created by the high ceiling fans. You are breathing with the building, your lungs rising and falling in perfect synchronization with the slow, eternal swoosh, swoosh, swoosh of the wooden blades slicing through the shadows above. You let your awareness drift upward, away from the wooden bleachers and into the vast, open space of the gym's upper reaches. The ceiling is a dark, distant sky, supported by massive, crisscrossing steel beams. These rafters are painted a deep, muted gray, blending almost entirely into the shadows, but you can sense their immense strength and stability. They hold the roof secure against the damp night, a protective cage that keeps the golden warmth inside and the cool, misty rain outside. Occasionally, the old steel lets out a soft, imperceptible groan, a microscopic shifting of weight as the building settles deeper into the night. It is a sound of profound comfort, the sound of a structure resting its heavy bones, relaxing just as you are relaxing. You feel an immense wave of gratitude for these strong, silent beams, for the shelter they provide, for the quiet space they preserve. Beneath them, the golden light from the few active fixtures hangs suspended like a glowing mist, unable to reach the very top of the ceiling, leaving the rafters in a permanent, peaceful twilight. The golden light itself is a physical presence in the room. It does not just illuminate, it warms, it holds, it soothes. It pools on the smooth, polished hardwood of the basketball court like liquid amber, turning the floor into a glowing, honey-colored mirror. You watch the way the light catches the painted boundaries of the court, making the crisp white lines and the faded blue arcs pop against the rich wood. It is a geometry of perfect calm, a series of ordered shapes that give the vast room a sense of purpose and boundary. But tonight, the boundaries do not confine. They simply structure the piece. You imagine walking barefoot across that smooth, glowing surface, feeling the cool, polished wood against your skin, tracing the arc of the three-point line with slow, deliberate steps. The thought alone is enough to send another wave of deep, heavy lethargy washing down your legs, making your feet feel wonderfully leaden and immovable on the bleacher below. You are perfectly still, perfectly content to simply watch the light resting on the floor. As you gaze softly at the illuminated half of the court, your eyes begin to play gentle, sleepy tricks on you. The dust motes, caught in the beam of the amber fixtures, transform into a slow-moving galaxy of tiny, glowing stars. They drift aimlessly, floating up and down on the invisible thermal currents of the room. You pick one single, microscopic speck of dust and follow its journey. It rises slowly, caught in a tiny updraft, glowing brightly as it hits the center of the light beam. Then it catches a gentle cross breeze from the ceiling fans and drifts lazily to the left, beginning a long, slow descent toward the polished floor. It spins and tumbles in slow motion, a silent, weightless dancer performing just for you. Watching it is incredibly hypnotic. Your eyelids grow heavier and heavier, struggling to stay open against the overwhelming pull of sleep. You let them fall halfway closed, turning the glowing dust motes into soft, blurred streaks of golden light, a dreamy, abstract painting that shifts and changes with every passing second. The silence in the gymnasium is not empty, it is full. It is filled with the low, constant hum of the electrical fixtures, a droning, vibrating note that acts as a heavy blanket for your mind. The hum is so steady, so unchanging that your brain stops trying to process it, allowing it to become a pure, comforting white noise that blocks out everything else. It is a sonic cocoon, wrapping around your ears, vibrating gently in your jawline, soothing the tiny muscles of your inner ear. You lean your head back against the solid wooden plank behind you, feeling the faint vibration of the building traveling through the wood and into your neck. You are physically connected to the quiet pulse of the gymnasium, your own heartbeat slowing down to match the deep, slow rhythm of the empty space. Thump, thump, Thump. The rhythm is slow, heavy, and infinitely peaceful. You feel a profound sense of safety washing over you, a deep knowing that you are completely hidden away from the demands and worries of the waking world. Outside the thick brick walls, the rain continues its soft, rhythmic song. It is a delicate, continuous whisper against the high, frosted glass windows. SHHH, SHHH, SHHH. You can almost see the tiny droplets hitting the glass, spreading out and sliding down the panes in slow, watery trails. The sound is muffled, filtered through the thick glass and the vast distance of the room, making it sound like it is happening in another world entirely. The cool, damp reality of the rain outside only serves to heighten the deep, dry warmth of your sanctuary inside. You imagine the dark, quiet streets of the neighborhood, the wet pavement reflecting the orange glow of the streetlights. The house is completely dark, their inhabitants lost in their own dreams. The entire world has slowed to a halt, resting beneath the gentle shower, and you are resting right along with it, the most peaceful occupant of the quietest room in the city. You turn your attention inward, beginning a slow, incredibly gentle scan of your own relaxed body. You start at the very tips of your toes. They feel warm and completely weightless, resting loosely in your shoes. The relaxation spreads slowly, like warm honey pouring over your skin. It moves over your feet, soothing the arches and the heels, releasing any lingering tightness. It travels up into your ankles, making them feel loose and completely at ease. The heavy, warm sensation continues its slow ascent, wrapping around your calves, sinking deep into the muscles, turning them to a soft, pliable jelly. Your knees relax, dropping slightly outward. Your thighs melt into the smooth wood of the bleachers, feeling incredibly heavy, anchoring you securely to the bench. Your entire lower body is now completely asleep, disconnected from any need to move or act. You are simply resting, held safely by the strong, quiet structure of the gymnasium. The wave of deep relaxation continues its journey, flowing gently into your hips and your lower back. You feel your spine softening, finding the perfect, natural curve against the wooden plank behind you. All the effort of holding yourself upright vanishes, replaced by a wonderful, trusting surrender to gravity. The warmth spreads across your abdomen, syncing with the slow, deep rhythm of your breathing. With every inhale, your stomach rises gently, drawing in the calm, waxy air of the room. With every exhale, it falls, releasing any hidden knots of stress or tension. Your chest feels open and spacious, your lungs expanding effortlessly in the warm atmosphere. Your shoulders, which carry so much weight during the day, finally drop completely, falling down and back, sinking heavily toward the wood. The relief is profound, a physical sigh that echoes through your entire torso. You are letting go of everything, piece by piece, muscle by muscle, breath by breath. The heavy warmth flows down your arms, a slow, soothing river of comfort. It washes over your biceps, your elbows, your forearms, loosening every fiber, untying every knot. It pools in your wrists, making them feel completely slack. It travels into your hands, resting softly in your lap. Your fingers uncurl one by one. The thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the pinky. They lie perfectly still, heavy and relaxed, completely emptied of any desire to grasp or hold. Your hands feel large and warm, vibrating slightly with the deep, internal pulse of your own quiet circulation. You are completely at peace, a statue of pure relaxation resting in the golden light. Finally, the soothing wave reaches your neck and your head. The muscles at the base of your skull release their grip, allowing your head to rest fully against the wooden backboard. Your jaw goes completely slack, your lips parting just a fraction of an inch. Your tongue rests heavily in the bottom of your mouth. The tiny muscles around your eyes and across your forehead smooth out entirely, erasing any expression, leaving behind a face of pure, serene emptiness. Your scalp tingles softly, a final release of energy, before settling into complete stillness. Your entire body is now unified in a state of profound, immovable rest. You are floating on a dark, quiet ocean, supported only by the gentle hum of the lights, the faint whisper of the rain, and the slow, steady rhythm of your own calm breathing. In this state of deep bodily rest, your mind becomes a vast, open landscape, clear and unburdened. You return to the image of the basketball hoop at the far end of the court, the one bathed in the soft, amber light. The orange rim and the white cotton net stand as a quiet testament to patience and repetition. You imagine the tall boy again, not in motion, but in the peaceful energy he left behind. The dedication, the quiet focus, the simple joy of the routine, it is all absorbed into the very walls of the room, into the polished floor, into the woven canvas mats. You are breathing in his peace, sharing in the sanctuary he created. The gym is a vessel of calm, holding the echoes of perfectly arcing shots and softly swishing nets. You do not hear the sounds anymore. You simply feel the harmony they created, a deep, resonant balance that hums in the air around you. The long shadows in the corners of the room seem to stretch ever so slightly, inching their way across the floorboard, slowly reclaiming the golden light as the night deepens. It is a microscopic progression, the gentle turning of the earth, the slow, inevitable march of time that feels entirely suspended within these walls. You watch the edge of a shadow as it touches the painted blue line of the court, a soft, fuzzy border between the light and the dark. The darkness is not absolute. It is a rich, warm charcoal gray, soft and inviting. You feel a gentle pull toward that darkness, a desire to let your mind slip completely beneath the surface of the golden light, to sink into the quiet, velvety depths where even the hum of the lights and the whisper of the rain fade away into nothingness. You let your eyes close completely now. There is no need to look anymore. The visual world has done its job, painting a picture of perfect safety and calm in your mind. With your eyes closed, the feeling of the heavy, warm air on your skin becomes even more pronounced. It feels like a physical embrace, a soft, invisible blanket draped over your shoulders and tucked gently around your resting hands. You feel the absolute stillness of the air, broken only by the microscopic, rhythmic breath of the ceiling fans far above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. It is the heartbeat of the room, slow, steady, and infinitely reassuring. You let your own heartbeat sync with it, a perfect, harmonious rhythm of rest. The smell of the floor polish and the canvas mat seems to sweeten in the darkness, a comforting, familiar aroma that lulls your senses. It is the scent of a place entirely devoted to quiet focus, a place where the outside world is simply not allowed to enter. You are locked away in this fragrant, warm cocoon, completely insulated from the cold, the rain, and the noise. You take another slow, deep breath, pulling the scent deep into your lungs, letting it fill you with a profound sense of well-being. As you exhale, you imagine blowing out the last tiny spark of waking thought, leaving your mind completely dark, completely empty, completely at peace. The physical sensations of your body begin to fade, replaced by a feeling of weightless floating. You can no longer tell where your hands end and the air begins. You can no longer feel the hard wood of the bleachers beneath you, only a soft, supportive pressure that holds you in space. You are drifting gently, rising and falling on the slow, rhythmic tide of your own breathing. In, out, rise, fall. It is a beautiful, hypnotic dance of nothingness. The hum of the lights is now just a faint, distant vibration in the core of your being, a gentle purr that tells you everything is exactly as it should be. The whisper of the rain is a distant memory, a soft shhh that has lulled you to the very edge of sleep. You exist only in this exact, perfect second. There is no past to remember, no future to anticipate. There is only the warm, golden darkness, the slow, rhythmic breath, the heavy, comforting peace of the empty gymnasium. You are a quiet observer of your own rest, watching yourself slip away into the deep, dark, welcoming embrace of the night. The silence is absolute, a thick, rich tapestry of stillness that covers everything. You are safe. You are warm. You are completely and utterly relaxed, drifting further and further away, deeper and deeper down, letting the quiet sanctuary of the old brick building hold you in its gentle, eternal calm, as you surrender completely to the endless, beautiful depths of a perfect, unbroken slumber. As you surrender entirely to the beautiful depths of slumber, the gymnasium around you seems to exhale one final, long breath, settling into the absolute quiet of the middle of the night. The passage of time has lost all of its edges and corners, melting into a single, continuous stream of golden, heavy warmth. The concept of hours ticking by is completely foreign in this enclosed space. There is only the long, stretching now, a present moment that feels as wide and deep as a calm, dark ocean. You are resting at the very bottom of this ocean, shielded from any ripples or currents that might disturb the surface far above. The only motion is the slow, gentle rising and falling of your chest, a rhythmic tide that is perfectly in tune with the slow, steady heartbeat of the old brick building. You feel the deep, resonant stillness not just as an absence of sound, but as a physical presence, a thick, comforting blanket that wraps around your shoulders and tucks you in safely against the smooth wooden bleachers. The heavy, double wooden doors at the far end of the hallway, the ones the tall boy passed through long ago, stand as a silent, steadfast barrier between your peaceful sanctuary and the sleeping world outside. You can picture them in your mind's eye, thick and solid, painted a deep, quiet green that blends into the shadows of the lobby. Their brass handles are cool and motionless, gathering the faint dust of the night. They are the guardians of your rest, ensuring that nothing can intrude upon the perfect, unbroken calm of the gymnasium. You feel a profound sense of gratitude for those heavy doors, for the secure perimeter they create, locking the quiet in and keeping the noise out. Behind them, the long, tiled hallway stretches out in the dim light, an empty corridor of echoes that slumbers peacefully, waiting for the distant morning. But morning is incredibly far away, a distant concept that holds no weight in the heavy, amber warmth of your current reality. Beyond the doors, beyond the hallway, the thick red brick walls of the recreation center stand strong against the cool, misty Maryland night. You imagine the rough, weathered texture of the bricks, cooled by the gentle rain, absorbing the dampness while keeping the interior perfectly dry. The walls are thick, built decades ago to last, to weather storms and harbor generations of quiet practices. They hold the warmth of the day inside their clay bodies, radiating it slowly back into the vast space of the gym, wrapping you in a steady, comforting temperature that never wavers. You feel entirely encased in safety, a pearl resting perfectly within a heavy, protective shell. The rain outside is nothing more than a soft, rhythmic lullaby, a delicate shhh, shhh, shhh against the high windows, a sound that only makes the dry, waxy air inside feel even more precious, even more inviting. Your mind drifts lazily toward the far corner of the court, where the thick canvas tumbling mats are stacked against the wall. You can almost feel their dense, forgiving texture beneath your fingertips. They are covered in heavy, navy blue vinyl, worn soft and pliable by countless hours of use. You imagine the feeling of sinking into one of those mats, the way the thick foam would yield gently to your weight, cradling your tired muscles. The smell of the mats is distinctly nostalgic, a slightly dusty, earthy aroma that mixes perfectly with the sharp, clean scent of the polished floor wax. It is the smell of a place where effort is quietly expended and deep rest is well earned. You breathe that scent in slowly, letting it fill your lungs, letting it travel through your bloodstream, carrying a message of complete relaxation to every heavy limb and quiet nerve in your body. The single basketball hoop, still illuminated by the soft, amber light, stands like a silent sentinel keeping watch over the empty floor. The bright orange paint of the rim is a warm, steady circle in the dimness, a perfect geometric ring that catches the light and holds it. The white cotton net hangs perfectly motionless, completely undisturbed by the invisible breeze of the ceiling fans. It looks incredibly soft in the muted light, a gentle funnel of woven threads that has guided thousands of perfect shots to their quiet conclusion. You look at that net and feel a deep sense of completion. The work is done. The practice is over. There is nothing left to achieve, nothing left to strive for tonight. There is only the profound, satisfying peace that comes after a long, quiet effort, a peace that you are now absorbing simply by resting in its presence. The low, electrical hum of the overhead fixtures continues its steady, droning song, a sound so consistent that it has become a part of your own internal landscape. It vibrates subtly in the air, a gentle frequency that massages your eardrums and lulls your brainwaves into a slow, rolling rhythm. You don't just hear the hum, you feel it. You feel it in the smooth wood beneath your hands, in the warm air brushing against your cheek, in the very marrow of your heavy, relaxed bones. It is a sonic anchor, keeping you tethered to the calm reality of the room, preventing your mind from wandering into the chaotic territories of waking thought. As long as the hum continues, you know you are safe. You know you are hidden. You know you are allowed to simply exist in a state of pure, thoughtless rest. High above, lost in the shadows of the crisscrossing steel rafters, the ceiling fans continue their endless, sweeping rotation. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sound is like the slow, rhythmic breathing of a gentle giant, a vast, invisible creature that watches over the gymnasium while it sleeps. The wooden blades slice lazily through the warm air, creating soft, sweeping currents that drift down to the floor, carrying the faint scent of old leather and floor polish. You feel a microscopic breeze brush across your forehead, a touch so light and delicate that it feels like a ghost of a caress. It cools your skin for a fraction of a second before vanishing, leaving behind a sensation of complete and utter tranquility. You let your head rest heavier against the backboard of the bleachers, surrendering fully to the invisible, gentle touch of the circulating air. The polished maple floor stretches out before you, a dark, honey-colored lake reflecting the faint ambient light. You trace the long, straight line of the sideline with your heavy eyes, following it from one end of the court to the other. It is a boundary of peace, a painted border that separates the quiet sanctuary of the court from the rest of the world. Within those lines, everything makes sense. Everything is orderly, rhythmic, and calm. You imagine the smooth, cool feeling of the wood beneath your bare feet, the absolute flawless surface created by the boys' careful sweeping. The floor is a blank canvas, perfectly prepared for a new day. But for now, it is resting, holding its polished beauty in the quiet dark, waiting patiently beneath the soft, droning hum of the lights. You feel a new, even deeper wave of relaxation washing over you, starting at the very crown of your head and melting slowly downward. It smooths away the tiniest microscopic tensions in your scalp, allowing your hair to rest softly against the wood. It flows over your forehead, easing the space between your eyebrows, leaving your face completely slack, devoid of any expression or effort. It travels down your neck, releasing the heavy muscles that support your head, letting gravity take complete control. Your shoulders sink another fraction of an inch, feeling as though they are melting into the bleachers, becoming one with the sturdy, solid structure of the gymnasium. The heavy, warm sensation pours down your chest and back, a slow, viscous river of comfort. Your breathing becomes even shallower, even slower, barely a whisper of air entering and leaving your relaxed lungs. You are using almost no energy, existing in a state of pure, suspended animation. The warmth pools in your stomach, soothing your center, radiating a deep, internal peace that reaches every organ, every cell. It flows down your arms, making them feel like heavy, warm sandbags resting lifelessly by your sides. Your fingers are completely uncurled, perfectly still, perfectly empty. The profound relaxation continues its journey down your legs, washing over your heavy thighs, your loose knees, your completely relaxed calves. It settles into your ankles and your feet, anchoring you firmly to the wooden floorboards beneath the bleachers. You are entirely immobilized by comfort, wrapped in a cocoon of safety and warmth that nothing can penetrate. The gymnasium is holding you, protecting you, singing you a quiet, droneless lullaby that stretches on and on into the infinite, peaceful darkness of the Maryland night, where the misty rain continues to tap softly against the high, frosted glass, and the tall, quiet boy's perfect, sweeping motions remain etched forever in the gleaming, honey-colored wood. As the quiet of the gymnasium settles even deeper into your bones, you realize that the air itself feels different here. It is a woven tapestry of patience and time, a thick, invisible fabric that holds the echoes of 1,000 quiet nights just like this one. The amber light from the few remaining overhead fixtures seems to thicken, taking on the quality of a slow-moving, golden syrup that coats the polished maple floor and softening every hard edge in the vast room. You watch the light pooling around the center circle, a perfect, glowing stage where the tall, quiet kid once stood. The memory of his presence is not a ghost, but a gentle, comforting imprint left upon the atmosphere, a signature of dedication written in the soft squeak of rubber soles and the rhythmic thumping of pebbled leather. You breathe in that dedication, letting it fill your own lungs with a sense of quiet purpose, a purpose that, for tonight, is solely focused on the simple, beautiful act of letting go. Your eyes, beneath their heavy, completely relaxed lids, continue to trace the invisible geometry of the space. You imagine the smooth, sweeping curve of the three-point line, a painted arc that defines the boundary of effort and rest. It is a line drawn not just in faded blue paint, but in countless hours of repetition, a path traveled back and forth, over and over again, until the movement became as natural as breathing. You feel your own breath sinking with the memory of that movement, a slow, pendulum swing of inhalation and exhalation. With every breath drawn in, you absorb the calm, waxy scent of the floorboards, a clean and grounding aroma that anchors you to the present moment. With every breath let out, you release the final, microscopic fragments of tension that might have been hiding in the deep corners of your mind, watching them dissolve into the golden haze like tiny drops of water falling into a vast, still ocean. The silence of the room is not an empty void, but a rich, textured symphony of near-nothingness. It is composed of the low, eternal hum of the electrical lights, a droning note that vibrates softly at the very edge of your hearing. It is a sound so constant, so reliable, that it becomes a physical sensation, a gentle massage for your weary mind. Woven into this hum is the delicate, rhythmic swoosh of the ceiling fans high above, their long wooden blades slicing lazily through the trapped warmth of the rafters. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. It is the sound of the building breathing, a slow, mechanical respiration that lulls you deeper and deeper into a state of profound lethargy. You feel the microscopic currents of air they create, a ghost of a breeze that brushes against your forehead and dances lightly across the back of your resting hands, a tactile reminder that you are perfectly safe, perfectly hidden, completely protected from the damp, misty night outside. Outside those thick, red brick walls, the rain continues its hushed, secretive conversation with the world. You can just barely hear it, a soft, muffled tapping against the high, frosted window panes. Tap, tap, tap. It is a liquid lullaby, a sound that speaks of cool, dark streets and sleeping neighborhoods, a sound that makes the dry, amber warmth of your sanctuary feel all the more precious. You imagine the tiny droplets gathering on the glass, forming small, heavy pearls before sliding slowly, silently down the pane, tracing invisible paths into the dark. The thought of that cool moisture makes you sink even heavier into the worn, smooth wood of the bleachers, your body instinctively seeking the deep, radiating comfort of the indoor space. The wood yields slightly to your weight, a solid, trusting support that curves perfectly to match the shape of your relaxed spine. You are completely held, completely supported, entirely without burden. You let your awareness drift away from the physical boundaries of the room, allowing it to float freely in the golden, hazy space above the basketball court. You imagine the perfect, high-arcing trajectory of a basketball in flight, a silent, graceful curve that cuts through the dim light before descending perfectly toward the waiting net. You do not hear the bounce. You do not hear the release. You only see the beautiful, effortless geometry of the arc, a parabola of pure peace. The ball reaches the apex of its flight, hanging suspended for a microscopic fraction of a second, completely weightless, before beginning its gentle fall. You feel that same sense of weightlessness within your own body, a sensation of floating freely in a warm, dark space where gravity has entirely lost its grip. Your arms and legs are completely unmoored, drifting lazily on the gentle currents of your own deep relaxation. The white cotton net, hanging motionless beneath the glowing orange rim, becomes the focal point of your internal vision. It is a symbol of soft reception, a woven basket designed to catch and gently guide. You imagine the way the thick white threads would feel between your fingers. The deep, unbroken slumber begins to wash over you in slow, rhythmic waves, but a tiny, peaceful ember of awareness remains, just enough for you to fully appreciate the profound comfort of the gymnasium. You are resting at the absolute center of the night, a point where time does not flow forward or backward, but simply pools around you like the warm, golden light on the hardwood floor. The bleachers beneath you have lost all their hardness, feeling now as soft and accommodating as a bed of moss in a quiet forest. You feel your body melting into the grain of the wood, becoming a permanent, peaceful fixture of the room. Your breathing is so shallow, so perfectly calm, that it barely disturbs the heavy, waxy air resting upon your chest. You are a silent observer in a world that requires absolutely nothing of you. The air in the gym feels incredibly ancient, holding the quiet breaths of decades. It is a still, heavy atmosphere, completely undisturbed by the rush and chaos of the outside world. You take a slow, microscopic sip of this air, tasting the familiar, grounding notes of floor polish and old leather. It is a flavor of pure nostalgia, a reminder of simpler times and quiet, focused efforts. As the air fills your relaxed lungs, it brings a wave of internal warmth that spreads outward from your core, reaching the very tips of your fingers and toes. Your limbs feel gloriously heavy, weighted down by the sheer comfort of the space. You could not lift an arm if you tried, and the realization brings a deep, satisfying sense of surrender. You have yielded completely to the peace of the building. Outside the thick, red brick walls, the misty rain continues its endless, whispering descent. SHHH, SHHH, SHHH. It is a liquid metronome, marking the slow passage of the night in tiny, hushed syllables. You imagine the thousands of soft, cool droplets falling onto the flat roof far above, a gentle drumming that is entirely absorbed by the thick insulation and the heavy steel rafters. By the time the sound reaches your ears, it is nothing more than a delicate rumor of weather, a cozy reminder that you are safely tucked away, warm and perfectly dry. You picture the dark, empty streets stretching away from the recreation center, the slick pavement reflecting the orange glow of the streetlights, completely devoid of traffic or movement. The entire world is resting, and you are resting right along with it, the quietest soul in the quietest room in the city. You let your mind's eye wander back to the polished maple floor, the vast, honey-colored expanse that dominates the space. Without opening your real eyes, you can perfectly visualize the gleaming surface, flawlessly swept and completely clear. The golden light from the overhead fixtures creates soft, hazy reflections on the wood, making it look like a calm, indoor lake. You imagine the feeling of sliding your hand across that smooth surface, feeling the seamless joins of the floorboards, the microscopic texture of the varnish. It is a tactile daydream that brings another wave of profound relaxation to your resting hands. Your fingers twitch slightly, a tiny, involuntary response to the imagined sensation, before settling back into their absolute stillness. The painted lines on the court, the crisp white boundaries and the faded blue arcs, serve as a gentle, organized framework for your wandering thoughts. They are paths of order in a world that can often feel chaotic. You trace the long, straight edge of the baseline in your mind, following it from the deep shadows of one corner, all the way across the court, to the shadowed corner on the other side. The journey takes an eternity, a slow, deliberate tracing that requires no effort, only a gentle, sleepy attention. When you reach the end of the line, you simply turn around and trace it back again. It is a mental packing that perfectly matches the slow, rhythmic sweep of the ceiling fans high above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The fans are the only moving things left in the building, and their motion is a slow, hypnotic blessing. You can almost see the heavy wooden blades slicing lazily through the warm air trapped in the rafters, turning and turning in a ceaseless, gentle orbit. They push the invisible currents of the room, creating microscopic breezes that eventually find their way down to the bleachers. You feel one of these tiny, ghost-like breezes brush against your cheek, a cool, fleeting caress that makes the surrounding warmth feel even more profound. You lean your head back, offering your face to the invisible air, drinking in the quiet comfort of the sensation. Your awareness sinks deeper into the physical structure of the gymnasium. You feel the immense, silent strength of the steel beams holding up the roof, a crisscrossing network of support that requires no thanks and asks for no recognition. They simply hold the weight, night after night, year after year. You absorb some of that steadfast, silent strength, feeling your own internal foundation settling and becoming perfectly secure. The worries and anxieties that you carried into the room have been completely dissolved by the warm, amber light, leaving behind a core of pure, unshakable peace. You are as solid and deeply rooted as the heavy brick walls themselves. The memory of the tall, quiet boy's practice continues to hum in the background of your consciousness. You do not see his form, but you feel the rhythm he established. The slow, deliberate bounce of the basketball. Thump, thump, thump. It is a phantom heartbeat that aligns perfectly with your own. You imagine the ball resting in the center circle where he left it, a perfect, textured sphere of orange leather holding its own quiet gravity. It is the focal point of the room, a silent monument to the hours of solitary focus. You let your mind rest on that ball, finding a point of absolute stillness in the center of the vast floor. The net on the far hoop, bathed in the soft light, remains perfectly motionless. It is a woven basket of white cotton, waiting patiently for a dawn that feels impossibly far away. You remember the sound of the ball passing perfectly through it, that soft, crisp swish that signifies a flawless arc and a gentle release. You play the sound over and over in your mind, a soothing, repetitive loop that lulls your brain waves into an even slower, deeper rhythm. Swish, swish, swish. It is a sound of pure satisfaction, a sound that tells you everything is perfectly aligned, perfectly balanced, perfectly at rest. Your body is now entirely numb with comfort. The heavy, warm sandbags that were once your arms and legs have melted completely into the wooden bleachers. You have lost the boundaries of your physical form, expanding outward to fill the warm, golden space of the gymnasium. You are the hum of the lights. You are the swoosh of the fans. You are the smooth, polished surface of the maple floor. You are the quiet, misty rain tapping softly against the high windows. You have become one with the sanctuary, completely immersed in the profound, beautiful emptiness of the night. The darkness behind your closed eyes is no longer just an absence of light, but a rich, velvety substance that you can almost feel. It is a heavy, comforting blanket that wraps around your mind, shielding you from any stray, lingering thoughts. You sink into this darkness, letting it carry you further down into the depths of slumber. There is no bottom to this ocean of rest, only a continuous, gentle sinking, a slow, floating descent into the most peaceful state imaginable. You let go of the last tiny threads of control, surrendering completely to the heavy, pulling sensation. The low, droning hum of the electrical fixtures vibrates softly in your chest, a constant, reassuring purr that tells you the building is still awake, still keeping watch over you while you sleep. It is a lullaby of pure frequency, a sound that speaks directly to your nervous system, bypassing your conscious mind entirely. You let the vibration massage your heavy heart, soothing any remaining microscopic tensions, leaving behind a profound, glowing emptiness. You are completely unburdened, completely weightless, completely free. The misty rain outside continues its quiet work, washing the streets, nourishing the earth, keeping the world cool and quiet. Inside, the warm, waxy air holds you in a perfect, unchanging embrace. The contrast is deeply satisfying, a reminder of your own incredible good fortune to be exactly where you are in this exact moment. There is nowhere else you need to be, no one else you need to be. You are simply a quiet, breathing presence in a vast, sleeping room, perfectly aligned with the slow, gentle rhythm of the night. You imagine the shadows in the far corners of the gym growing slightly deeper, slowly creeping outward across the polished floor. They are gentle, welcoming shadows, offering a soft retreat from the golden light. You let your mind drift into one of those shadows, finding a cool, quiet corner where even the hum of the light seems to fade away. You curl up in this imaginary darkness, pulling the heavy, velvety quiet around you like a protective cloak. You are entirely hidden, entirely safe, completely surrendered to the overwhelming, beautiful power of deep, unbroken sleep, drifting ever downward through the peaceful quiet of the room. As you sink deeper into that imaginary, cool shadow, you begin to notice the faintest hint of a new color filtering through the darkness. Far down the hallway, beyond the heavy double doors, the soft, emerald glow of the exit sign spills a gentle, muted green light onto the tiled floor. It is a quiet, reassuring beacon in the sleeping building, a tiny splash of cool color that perfectly balances the warm, amber haze of the gymnasium. You imagine that soft green light creeping under the gap of the wooden doors, a slender ribbon of color that stretches across the polished maple, pointing the way to complete and utter rest. The green is the color of deep, mossy forests, of quiet ponds resting under a canopy of ancient trees. It mingles with the golden hue of the overhead fixtures, creating a tranquil, underwater atmosphere that washes over your tired eyes. You do not need to look at it. You simply feel its calming presence, a visual whisper that tells your mind it is entirely safe to power down. The basketball resting in the very center of the court draws your sleepy attention once again. It sits precisely in the middle of the painted circle, a perfect sphere of resting energy. In your mind, you reach out and place both hands flat against its curved surface. You can feel the thousands of tiny, raised pebbles covering the orange leather, a texture designed for grip and control, now offering only a soothing, tactile massage for your imagination. You trace the smooth, recessed black channels that intersect across the ball, feeling the contrast between the rough leather and the smooth rubber lines. The ball is slightly cool to the touch, having surrendered the warmth of the boy's hands to the ambient air of the room. It is a heavy, solid object, perfectly balanced, perfectly at peace. You let the feeling of that heavy, resting sphere anchor your own body, translating its dense, immovable weight into the muscles of your arms and legs. You are as deeply rooted as that ball, completely unwilling to roll, completely unwilling to move. Above you, the gentle rain seems to find a new, even softer rhythm against the high, frosted glass. It is no longer a distinct tapping, but a continuous, velvet rustle, like the sound of dry autumn leaves blowing across a soft lawn. Rustle, rustle, rustle. The droplets are so fine, so delicate, that they barely make a sound as they hit the panes. They gather together, forming slow, heavy tears that glide silently down the glass, blurring the darkness outside into a smeared, watery painting of deep blues and grays. You listen to that continuous rustle, letting it wash over your mind, a liquid broom sweeping away the last, stubborn dust motes of waking thought. The sound is a protective barrier, a wall of soft water that separates your warm, dry sanctuary from the cool, damp world beyond. You are cocooned within the brick walls, entirely insulated, perfectly secure. You focus on the feeling of the heavy, worn wood of the bleachers pressing against your back and legs. It is not a hard sensation, but a firm, supportive embrace. You imagine the decades of history soaked into these wooden planks. They have supported thousands of resting bodies, absorbed the cheers of quiet victories, and held the weight of countless peaceful moments just like this one. The wood is alive with memory, vibrating with a slow, ancient energy that perfectly matches the slow, ancient rhythm of your own resting heartbeat. You feel yourself sinking into the grain of the wood, your physical boundaries blurring as you become one with the quiet structure of the gymnasium. Your legs are the heavy support beams. Your spine is the solid backboard. Your relaxed, open hands are the smooth, polished planks. You are the building, and the building is you, both resting in the quiet depths of the Maryland night. The scent of the room seems to deepen, becoming richer and more complex as your senses dial down to their most relaxed settings. The clean, sharp smell of the floor wax softens, blending seamlessly with the dry, chalky aroma of the canvas tumbling mats. Beneath these familiar scents, you detect the faintest hint of clean cotton and mild soap, drifting lazily from the distant locker rooms down the hall. It is a smell of purification, of washing away the effort of the day and preparing for the restorative hours of sleep. You breathe it in slowly, a long, luxurious inhalation that fills your chest with warmth and peace. You hold the breath for a microscopic second, letting the calming aromas circulate through your body, before releasing it with a soft, silent sigh that joins the gentle, circulating breeze of the room. The ceiling fans continue their eternal vigil high above in the shadows of the rafters. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sound is so constant, so utterly reliable, that it has become the soundtrack of your own internal landscape. You follow the slow, sweeping arc of the wooden blades with your mind's eye, watching them slice lazily through the warm air. They are pushing the piece down toward you, creating invisible waves of comfort that break softly against your resting body. You feel a tiny, ghostly breeze brush against the sensitive skin of your inner wrist, a sensation so delicate it almost tickles. It is the touch of the building, a gentle reassurance that you are being watched over, that the environment is perfectly controlled, perfectly designed for your comfort. You let your hand remain completely still, welcoming the soft, invisible caress. Your thoughts drift lazily out into the cool, misty night, following the invisible path of the tall, quiet boy who left the gym long ago. You picture him walking slowly down the slick, dark sidewalks of the sleeping neighborhood. His long legs carry him with that same effortless, unhurried grace he displayed on the court. He is a tall, dark silhouette moving through the gentle rain, his head bowed slightly, his hands tucked warmly into the pockets of his jacket. The mist collects on his clothes, a cool, refreshing contrast to the heat he generated during his solitary practice. He is carrying the piece of the gymnasium within him, a quiet, glowing ember of satisfaction in the center of his chest. You share that ember, feeling its warm, steady glow radiating from your own heart. You are walking with him in spirit, matching his slow, rhythmic strides, moving further and further away from the noise of the day, deeper and deeper into the quiet sanctuary of rest. The low, electrical hum of the overhead fixtures is a constant, vibrating companion. It is a sound that requires no interpretation, no response. It simply exists, a pure frequency of calm that fills the empty space. You let your awareness rest upon that hum, tuning your own internal vibrations to match its deep, resonant pitch. You feel it in your jawline, in the heavy muscles of your neck, in the relaxed, open space of your chest. It is a sonic massage, vibrating away any lingering microscopic tensions, leaving your body feeling like a pool of warm, still water. The hum is the sound of time standing perfectly still, a droning note that stretches the present moment out into infinity. There is no past, there is no future. There is only the hum, the warmth, the heavy, beautiful weight of your own relaxed body. You return your focus to the single, illuminated basketball hoop at the far end of the court. The orange rim is a glowing halo in the dimness, a perfect circle of painted iron. The white cotton net hangs beneath it, absolutely motionless, a ghostly funnel of woven threads. You remember the soft, crisp sound of the ball passing perfectly through it. Swish. You play the sound over and over in your mind, a hypnotic, repeating loop that lulls your brainwaves into an even slower, deeper rhythm. Swish. 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 It is a sound of pure harmony, a sound that signifies a perfect, effortless alignment. You feel that same alignment within yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit all resting together in perfect, quiet harmony. The work is done. The practice is over. It is time to sleep. The darkness behind your closed eyes is no longer a simple lack of light, but a rich, textured fabric of deep, velvety comfort. You wrap yourself in it, pulling it up over your shoulders, tucking it gently under your chin. It is a heavy, warm blanket that shields you from any stray, lingering thoughts, any tiny remnants of the waking world. You are sinking deep into this darkness, a slow, floating descent into the most peaceful state imaginable. You are untethered, drifting gently on the slow, rhythmic tide of your own breathing. In, out, rise, fall. The gymnasium holds you securely, a massive, silent cradle of brick and wood and warm, golden light. You let go completely, surrendering your heavy limbs to the smooth bleachers, surrendering your quiet mind to the gentle hum of the lights, and drifting effortlessly into the deep, endless, beautiful ocean of unbroken slumber. The boundaries of your physical self continue to dissolve softly into the warm, golden atmosphere of the empty gymnasium. You are no longer just resting on the wooden bleachers. You feel as though you have become a part of their ancient, patient structure. The polished maple boards beneath you are a solid, unwavering foundation, holding you with a gentle firmness that allows every single muscle in your body to completely let go. You feel the heavy, downward pull of gravity not as a force, but as a comforting, weighted blanket that tucks you securely into the quiet of the room. Your spine aligns perfectly with the smooth planks, finding a natural, effortless posture that requires zero energy to maintain. The wood absorbs the tiny, lingering vibrations of your day, drawing them out of your muscles and grounding them deep within the heavy brick architecture of the building. You are anchored in a sea of absolute stillness, a quiet passenger on a slow, peaceful journey through the middle of the night. The amber light that pools on the basketball court seems to grow even softer, taking on the quality of a warm, glowing mist. It does not pierce the darkness. It simply rests against it, creating a soft, hazy border where the light and shadows meet. You let your mind's eye wander along that fuzzy boundary, watching how the golden hue gently fades into the rich, velvety charcoal of the unlit corners. The darkness is not empty. It feels dense and protective, a thick curtain drawn across the vast space to shield your resting mind from any visual distractions. You imagine sliding slowly down the wooden bleachers and stepping barefoot onto that gleaming floor, walking silently toward the edge of the light. The polished wood would feel cool and smooth against your skin, a grounding sensation that connects you directly to the quiet earth below the foundation. You stand at the edge of the shadows, feeling the perfect balance between the warm illumination and the cool, resting dark. High above, the ceiling fans continue their slow, hypnotic rotation. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. It is the only movement in the entire building, a gentle stirring of the trapped warmth that prevents the air from feeling stale. You picture the long, wooden blades slicing through the dimness of the rafters, creating slow, invisible currents that drift lazily down toward the floor. One of these microscopic breezes brushes against your forehead, a touch so light and delicate that it feels like the softest silk. It cools your skin for a fraction of a second, sweeping away the last, stubborn remnants of conscious thought, leaving your mind completely clear and wonderfully empty. The sound of the fans blends seamlessly with the low, electrical hum of the lights, creating a textured, droning lullaby that fills the vast space. It is a sound that does not ask to be listened to. It simply exists, a steady background noise that lulls your brainwaves into a slow, rolling rhythm of deep sleep. Outside, the misty rain continues its quiet conversation with the glass. SHHH, SHHH, SHHH. The sound is muffled, filtered through the thick panes and the distance of the room, making it feel like it is happening in another world entirely. You imagine the tiny droplets gathering on the cool glass, merging into heavy, watery trails that slide slowly down into the dark. It is a liquid metronome, marking the slow passage of time in soft, hushed syllables. The thought of that cool, damp weather outside only makes the dry, waxy warmth of your indoor sanctuary feel more precious, more inviting. You sink a little deeper into the bleachers, your body instinctively seeking the radiating comfort of the indoor space. You are entirely cocooned within the brick walls, perfectly insulated from the elements, completely safe and secure in your hidden corner of the sleeping city. Your awareness drifts toward the heavy canvas mats stacked in the far corner of the gym. You can almost smell their dry, slightly chalky aroma from across the room. It is the scent of a place designed for soft landings and gentle falls, a place where effort is cushioned and rest is encouraged. You imagine the feeling of lying back on those thick, forgiving mats, staring straight up into the dark, crisscrossing steel of the rafters. The vastness of the ceiling would feel like a private, indoor sky, a sprawling canopy of shadow and structure that stretches out endlessly above you. You would be a tiny, resting speck beneath that massive architecture, completely protected, completely unburdened. The weight of the world would be entirely lifted from your shoulders, transferred effortlessly to the solid, unyielding floor below. The basketball hoop at the far end of the court remains bathed in the amber light, a silent monument to the quiet practice that took place hours ago. The orange rim is a stark, perfect circle, catching the light and holding it steady in the dimness. The white cotton net hangs completely motionless, a soft, woven funnel that seems to be waiting for nothing at all. You remember the sound of the ball passing perfectly through it. Swish. You play that sound over and over in your mind, a soothing, repetitive loop that brings a deep, satisfying sense of completion. Swish, swish, swish. It is a sound of pure harmony, a gentle rustle that echoes through the corridors of your memory and relaxes every nerve it touches. The practice is over. The work is done. There is nothing left to achieve but this perfect, motionless state of rest. You slowly guide your attention to the feeling of your own breath, noticing how incredibly slow and shallow it has become. You are taking in just enough air to sustain this state of profound relaxation, using almost no energy at all. The air you breathe is thick with the comforting sense of the gymnasium, the floor wax, the canvas, the faint hint of old leather. It is a nostalgic perfume that tells your body it is safe to completely power down. As you inhale, you imagine drawing the warm, golden light of the room directly into your chest, filling your lungs with a soft, glowing peace. As you exhale, you release a tiny puff of warm air that joins the gentle, circulating currents of the room, carrying away any lingering, microscopic tensions. It is a perfect, effortless cycle of rest and renewal, a quiet exchange between your resting body and the sleeping building. The heavy lethargy that has settled over your limbs now feels like a permanent condition, a wonderful weighted blanket that you have no desire to lift. Your hands rest openly in your lap, the fingers slightly curled in their most natural, relaxed position. You feel a soft, pulsing warmth in the center of your palms, a gentle rhythm that matches the slow, steady beating of your own heart. Thump, thump, thump. It is a deep, reassuring tempo, a drumbeat of pure, unadulterated peace that echoes quietly through your chest. Your feet are planted firmly on the wooden floorboards beneath the bleachers, feeling as though they have grown invisible roots that anchor you securely to the earth. You are entirely immobilized by comfort, wrapped in a cocoon of safety that nothing can penetrate. The shadows in the far corners of the gymnasium seem to stretch a little further, slowly reclaiming the edges of the polished floor as the night deepens. They are not threatening shadows. They are rich, velvety pools of deep comfort, offering a soft retreat from the golden light. You let your mind drift into one of those shadows, finding a cool, quiet space where even the hum of the lights seems to fade away into nothingness. You curl up in this imaginary darkness, pulling the heavy, quiet atmosphere around you like a thick, plush cloak. You are entirely hidden, entirely safe, completely surrendered to the overwhelming, beautiful power of deep, unbroken sleep. The low, droning hum of the electrical fixtures vibrates softly in your chest, a constant, reassuring purr that tells you the building is still awake, still keeping watch over you while you rest. It is a lullaby of pure frequency, a sound that bypasses your conscious mind entirely and speaks directly to your nervous system. You let the vibration massage your heavy heart, soothing away any remaining tightness, leaving behind a profound, glowing emptiness. You are completely unburdened, completely weightless, completely free. The hum is the sound of time standing perfectly still, a droning note that stretches the present moment out into infinity. There is no past to regret, no future to plan. There is only the hum, the warmth, the heavy, beautiful weight of your own relaxed body. You picture the tall, quiet boy once more, his long, unhurried strides carrying him further away down the dark, misty streets. He is a silent phantom of dedication, leaving behind a legacy of peace that you are now absorbing. The energy of his practice, the slow, rhythmic bouncing, the perfect, high-arcing shots, has soaked into the very walls of the building, transforming it into a sacred sanctuary of calm. You are a quiet beneficiary of his labor, resting in the tranquil space he prepared. You offer a silent, sleepy thank you to the empty room, a soft whisper of gratitude that dissolves instantly into the warm, waxy air. As you drift further down into the depths of slumber, the physical sensations of the bleachers and the floor begin to fade entirely. You are floating on a dark, quiet ocean, supported only by the gentle hum of the lights and the faint whisper of the rain. You are rising and falling on the slow, rhythmic tide of your own breathing. In, out, rise, fall. It is a beautiful, hypnotic dance of nothingness. The gymnasium holds you securely, a massive, silent cradle of brick and wood and warm, golden light. You let go completely, surrendering your heavy limbs, surrendering your quiet mind, and drifting effortlessly away into the deep, endless, beautiful ocean of unbroken sleep. The deep, endless, beautiful ocean of unbroken sleep receives you now, not with a sudden plunge, but with the slow, gentle embrace of warm, dark waters closing over a perfectly still surface. You are sinking, yet you feel completely weightless, suspended in a golden medium that is neither air nor water, but the pure, physical manifestation of rest itself. The boundaries of the gymnasium, the heavy brick walls, and the high steel rafters begin to stretch and expand in your resting mind, transforming from a physical building in Maryland into an infinite universe of calm. The polished maple floor beneath the bleachers is no longer just wood. It is the smooth, solid foundation of your own peaceful consciousness, extending outward in every direction, an endless plain of honey-colored comfort. You do not need to walk upon it. You simply exist above it, resting heavily on the bleachers that have now become entirely soft, molding to every curve and contour of your relaxed spine. The wood absorbs the last, microscopic traces of tension from your muscles, drawing them down into the earth, leaving your physical form feeling as light and airy as the dust motes still dancing in the distant amber light. You let your awareness drift back to those tiny, glowing specks of dust. In your sleepy imagination, you shrink down to their size, becoming just another weightless particle floating in the warm, quiet space. You ride the invisible, lazy currents of the room, drifting up toward the shadowed ceiling, then slowly, gently floating back down toward the gleaming floor. From this microscopic perspective, the gymnasium is a vast, echoing canyon of peace. The slow, rhythmic swoosh of the ceiling fans is the sound of massive, gentle winds moving across a silent landscape. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. You tumble slowly in the air, catching the golden light and glowing softly, a tiny spark of pure tranquility. There is no destination, no need to land. You are perfectly content to simply drift, carried by the slow, breathing rhythm of the building, completely unburdened by gravity or purpose. The journey itself is the rest, a continuous floating dream that lulls your mind into a state of profound, empty clarity. The hum of the overhead electrical fixtures shifts again, settling into an even lower, richer register that vibrates at the exact frequency of your resting heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. The hum and the heartbeat become one indistinguishable sound, a deep, resonant drumming that fills the hollow spaces of your chest and echoes softly against the inside of your mind. It is a lullaby of absolute consistency, a promise that nothing will change, nothing will intrude, and nothing will disturb the perfect stillness of the night. You feel the vibration in the heavy bones of your legs, in the relaxed muscles of your arms, in the slack jaw and the smooth, uncreased skin of your forehead. It is a sonic massage that reaches the very center of your being, smoothing out any remaining ripples on the surface of your consciousness, until your mind is as flat and glassy as a perfectly still pond reflecting the midnight sky. You are entirely saturated with this sound, wrapped in its protective resonance, completely shielded from the memories of the day and the thoughts of tomorrow. Outside, the misty Maryland rain continues its eternal whispering work. SHHH. 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 The sound is so muffled now that it feels like a memory of rain rather than the actual weather. It is a soft, static hiss that blends seamlessly with the hum of the lights and the swoosh of the fans, creating a thick, auditory blanket that covers the entire world. You imagine the cool, damp air pressing against the thick brick walls trying to find a way inside, but the building is perfectly sealed, a fortress of dry, waxy warmth. The contrast is incredibly soothing. You picture the wet, dark leaves on the trees outside, heavy with moisture, resting quietly in the calm night. You picture the empty sidewalks, slick and shining under the distant street lamps. The whole world has surrendered to the quiet, dark dampness, and you are hidden away in the very center of it all, a glowing ember of warmth protected by the sturdy, ancient walls of the recreation center. You return your lazy, drifting thoughts to the center circle of the basketball court. The painted wood is flawless, a perfect ring of faded blue holding a space of absolute equilibrium. You imagine the tall, quiet boy standing there once more, his long, thin frame perfectly balanced, holding the heavy orange ball. You do not see his face, only the quiet, serene energy he radiates. He is a master of repetition, a student of the slow, methodical process of perfection. You absorb that energy, taking the lesson of his quiet practice into your own resting body. Just as he bounces the ball over and over, thump, 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 you draw your breath in and out, over and over, finding deep comfort in the absolute predictability of the rhythm. There are no surprises here. There are no sudden movements. There is only the slow, steady pendulum swing of inhalation and exhalation, a cycle of life that sustains your slumber without requiring a single ounce of conscious effort. The memory of the basketball's texture returns to your fingertips. The thousands of tiny, raised pebbles on the orange leather, the smooth, recessed black channels that curve across its surface. It is an object designed for touch, and in your mind you hold it gently, feeling its dense, perfectly balanced weight. The ball is resting just as you are resting. It holds the potential for movement, for soaring arcs and soft, swishing nets, but right now, it chooses to remain perfectly still. You share in that choice, actively embracing the heavy, motionless state of your own limbs. Your arms are leaden, resting heavily at your sides. Your hands are open, the fingers completely slack, having let go of everything they carried during the waking hours. You are as still as the resting ball, anchored to the center of the quiet space, entirely unbothered by the passage of time. The soft, green glow from the distant exit sign down the hallway seems to seep slowly into the gymnasium, a thin, watery ribbon of emerald light that mixes with the golden amber of the overhead fixtures. The colors blend in the air, creating a rich, tranquil atmosphere that feels like a deep, underwater cavern. You imagine yourself resting at the bottom of this cavern, the heavy, warm water pressing gently against every inch of your skin. It is a sensation of total envelopment, a feeling of being completely held and supported by the environment itself. The light is so dim, so muted, that it does not register behind your closed eyelids as illumination, but simply as a warm, heavy color that paints your dreams with strokes of comfort and safety. You are floating in this colorful darkness, a quiet passenger on a slow, gentle current that is carrying you further and further away from the shores of wakefulness. The scent of the room is a constant, reassuring companion. The sharp, clean smell of the floor wax, the dusty, earthy aroma of the heavy canvas mats, the faint, lingering hint of old leather. They weave together into a single, nostalgic perfume that fills your lungs with every slow, shallow breath. It is the smell of a sanctuary, a place where the outside world is not allowed to enter. You breathe it in, letting the aroma travel deep into your chest, where it blooms into a warm, glowing sensation of profound well-being. The scent is a tether, connecting you to the physical reality of the quiet gymnasium, even as your mind drifts freely into the abstract spaces of deep sleep. You are anchored by the smell, by the hum, by the heavy, solid wood beneath you, allowing your spirit to wander safely through the peaceful, empty corridors of the night. You trace the long, painted baseline of the court in your mind one more time. The crisp white line stretches from one shadowed corner to the other, a perfect, straight path of order in the dimness. You imagine walking that line, placing one bare foot carefully in front of the other, feeling the smooth, cool maple wood beneath your soles. The walk is incredibly slow, a sleepy meditation that requires all of your gentle focus. With every step, you feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation. The wood absorbs your weight, supporting you completely. When you reach the end of the line, you do not turn back. You simply step off the edge of the court and into the soft, velvety darkness of the corner, letting the shadows fold over you like a thick, downy quilt. In that imaginary darkness, the silence is absolute. Even the hum of the lights and the whisper of the rain fade away, leaving only the sound of your own slow heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. It is the sound of life resting, of a body repairing and renewing itself in the quiet depths of the night. You listen to that heartbeat, a steady, rhythmic drum that lulls you into the deepest state of slumber you have ever known. There is no thought, no memory, no anticipation. There is only the heavy, beautiful emptiness of the present moment, a vast, dark space where you are entirely safe, entirely warm and completely at peace. The gymnasium holds you, a silent brick guardian keeping watch over your perfect, unbroken rest. The deep, resonant stillness of the building seems to echo within your own bones. The heavy steel rafters holding up the roof, the thick brick walls keeping out the damp night, the solid maple floor providing an unwavering foundation. You absorb the qualities of the architecture, becoming just as solid, just as quiet, just as unmovable. You are a part of the room now, a resting element in a space entirely devoted to peace. The bleachers cradle you, the warm air blankets you, the golden light soothes you. You have surrendered everything to the night, trusting completely in the protective embrace of the sanctuary. As the hours stretch out, indistinguishable from one another, the slow, rhythmic swoosh of the ceiling fans continues. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. It is a mechanical lullaby, a sound that speaks of endless patience and gentle motion. The invisible breezes they create wash over you in slow, rolling waves, carrying away any microscopic remnants of fatigue, leaving you feeling cleansed, empty, and perfectly light. You are floating again, a weightless spirit resting above the heavy, physical form of your body. You watch yourself sleep, observing the slow, steady rise and fall of your chest, the complete slackness of your face, the open, empty resting position of your hands. You are a picture of total tranquility, a masterpiece of rest painted in the soft, glowing colors of the quiet gymnasium. The basketball net at the far end of the court hangs in perfect, undisturbed silence. The white cotton threads are soft and worn, a gentle funnel that has caught and released countless perfect shots. You imagine the feeling of passing through that net, a sensation of being softly held for a fraction of a second before dropping smoothly into the dark. It is a metaphor for your own journey into sleep, a gentle transition from the waking world into the quiet, deep rest of the night. You pass through the net, leaving the amber light behind and fall slowly, gracefully into the velvety shadows. The descent is endless, a continuous floating drift through a space of pure, unadulterated comfort. The tall, thin boy with the unhurried grace is a distant memory, a quiet ghost whose dedication built the peace you now enjoy. His repetitive motions, the slow, rhythmic bouncing of the ball, the perfect, high-arcing shots, they have all soaked into the floorboards, transforming the ordinary recreation center into a sacred space. You are the silent beneficiary of his labor, resting in the quiet energy he left behind. You offer a final, sleepy whisper of gratitude to the empty room, a soft sigh that dissolves instantly into the waxy air. The building receives your thanks in silence, returning it with a heavy, comforting blanket of absolute stillness. The misty rain outside continues its gentle tapping. SHHH, SHHH, SHHH. The hum of the lights continues its low, vibrating drone. The ceiling fans continue their slow, sweeping swoosh. It is a symphony of rest, a perfect arrangement of sound and sensation that holds you in a state of deep, unbroken slumber. You are entirely surrendered to the process, a willing traveler on a slow, gentle journey through the middle of the night. There is nowhere to be, nothing to do, no one to answer to. There is only the warm, golden darkness, the slow, rhythmic breath, the heavy, beautiful peace of the empty gymnasium, holding you safely, securely, and completely at rest. The deep, continuous rhythm of your breath is the only measure of time in this vast, quiet space. It is a slow, oceanic swell, rising gently to take in the warm, waxy air, and falling softly to release it back into the room. With every exhalation, you feel your physical form sinking a fraction of a millimeter deeper into the smooth, worn wood of the bleachers. The wood is no longer a separate surface. It has become an extension of your own body, a solid, trusting foundation that supports your weight so perfectly that you forget you have any weight at all. You are a heavy, formless shadow resting on the bench, completely devoid of edges, melting seamlessly into the quiet architecture of the building. You let your awareness slowly pan across the empty court one more time, viewing it not with your eyes, but with a deep, internal sense of knowing. The polished maple is a vast, calm sea, gleaming softly under the amber lights. The painted lines are the gentle currents, guiding the energy of the room in smooth, predictable loops. You imagine the center circle as a deep, quiet whirlpool of peace, pulling all the lingering vibrations of the day down into the earth, leaving the surface perfectly flat and undisturbed. You allow your own mind to be pulled into that center, spiraling slowly downward into a state of absolute, thoughtless calm. The descent is incredibly slow, incredibly gentle, a hypnotic turning that unwinds the last, tightly coiled springs of your consciousness. The heavy canvas mats in the far corner seem to radiate their dry, chalky scent, a smell that speaks of safety and soft landings. You imagine the dense, forgiving foam waiting patiently in the dark, a plush haven designed to catch and cradle. You project the feeling of that thick foam onto the hard wood of the bleachers, convincing your senses that you are resting on a cloud of dark blue vinyl. The illusion is perfect. The wood softens, yielding to the heavy contours of your relaxed spine, your heavy shoulders, your slack legs. You are floating on a mattress of pure air, suspended between the solid floor and the distant, shadowed rafters. The steel beams crisscrossing the ceiling high above are the silent guardians of your rest. They hold the massive weight of the roof with an effortless, ancient strength, creating a protective canopy that shields you from the damp, misty night. You feel a deep, resonant connection to that strength. It flows down the brick walls and into the floorboards, traveling up through the bleachers to fill your own resting bones with a profound sense of durability and peace. You are as safe here as you would be in the center of a mountain, perfectly sheltered, perfectly secure. The building is a fortress of quiet, and you are its most protected inhabitant. The green glow of the exit sign down the hall continues to mingle with the golden light of the gym, creating that soft, underwater atmosphere. You imagine the cool, emerald light washing over your tired eyes, a soothing balm that eases the tiny muscles around your temples and your brow. The light is not illuminating anything. It is simply existing, a quiet splash of color in a world of warm shadows. You let that green light paint the inside of your mind, a vast, tranquil forest of pine and moss, where the air is cool and still, and the only sound is the gentle rustle of leaves high above. You walk slowly through this imaginary forest, your bare feet sinking into the soft, damp earth, moving further and further into the heart of the quiet woods. The basketball hoop remains your quiet anchor in the vastness of the room, the orange rim, the white net, the soft, golden light pooling beneath it. It is a picture of perfect, unmoving harmony. You remember the tall, quiet boy standing there, the slow, effortless release of the ball, the high, beautiful arc, the satisfying swish. The memory is no longer a story, but a feeling, a deep, resonant vibration of completion that hums in your chest. The work is done. The practice is over. The perfection has been achieved, and now there is nothing left but to rest in the quiet aftermath. You absorb that profound sense of completion, letting it fill the empty spaces of your mind with a glowing, heavy satisfaction. The low, electrical hum of the lights seems to become even softer, a distant, fuzzy vibration that you feel more than you hear. It is the sound of the building sleeping, a low, mechanical purr that lulls your brain waves into their slowest, most restorative rhythm. You match your breathing to that hum, drawing the air in slowly, holding it for a microscopic second of pure stillness, and releasing it with a long, soft sigh. The exchange of air is so minimal, so incredibly gentle, that it barely disturbs the dust motes resting in the amber light. You are existing on the very edge of nothingness, a quiet spark of life resting in a vast, empty void. Outside, the rain continues its hushed, secretive tapping against the frosted glass. SHHH, SHHH, SHHH. It is a watery curtain that separates you from the waking world, a liquid barrier that washes away the noise and the rush of the city. You imagine the tiny droplets merging together, sliding down the panes in slow, heavy tears, disappearing into the dark brick below. The sound is incredibly comforting, a constant reminder that the world outside is cold and wet, while you are warm, dry, and perfectly hidden. You sink deeper into the bleachers, wrapping the dry, waxy air around you like a thick, plush blanket. The ceiling fans continue their endless, sweeping rotation in the shadows above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The invisible breezes they create are the breath of the building, a slow, rhythmic circulation of warmth and peace. You feel one of these gentle breezes brush across your relaxed hands, a touch so light it feels like a ghost. It cools the skin for a fleeting second, leaving behind a sensation of total tranquility. You do not move a single muscle. You simply accept the soft caress, a quiet blessing from the sleeping gymnasium. The shadows in the corners of the room stretch further across the polished floor, slowly reclaiming the golden light as the night deepens. They are rich, velvety pools of deep comfort, inviting you to sink into their cool, quiet depths. You let your mind drift into the darkest corner, finding a space where even the hum of the lights cannot reach. In this absolute darkness, you are entirely free. There are no boundaries, no walls, no floor. There is only the infinite, warm emptiness of deep sleep, a vast, beautiful ocean of rest where you are floating, drifting, and completely at peace. The tall, thin boy with the unhurried grace is completely gone now, leaving only the profound, beautiful peace of his quiet practice. You are the sole occupant of this hidden sanctuary, the silent keeper of the midnight hour. The polished maple floor, the heavy canvas mats, the crisp white lines, the soft cotton net, they all belong to your dreams now, gentle, ordered shapes that structure the landscape of your slumber. You rest among them, a heavy, motionless figure on the worn wooden bleachers, entirely surrendered to the slow, gentle rhythm of the night. The deep, continuous rhythm of your breath is the only sound you hear clearly now. In, out, rise, fall. It is a slow, oceanic swell that carries you further and further away from the shores of wakefulness. The gymnasium holds you securely, a massive, silent cradle of brick and wood and warm, golden light. You let go completely, surrendering your heavy limbs to the smooth bleachers, surrendering your quiet mind to the gentle hum of the lights, and drifting effortlessly away into the deep, endless, beautiful ocean of unbroken, perfect slumber, safe, warm, and entirely at rest in the quiet heart of the old brick building. The deep, golden amber of the gymnasium light no longer simply rests upon your skin. It feels as though it has been absorbed entirely into your bloodstream, replacing the steady pulse of your waking life with the slow, rich, viscous flow of pure tranquility. You are existing in a state of suspended animation, a quiet passenger in the very heart of the night. The bleachers beneath you have surrendered their wooden hardness completely, becoming a soft, yielding cloud that perfectly cradles the heavy, relaxed contours of your resting form. You cannot feel where your shoulders end and the smooth maple begins. You cannot feel the difference in temperature between the air in the room and the air resting gently within your lungs. Everything has reached a perfect, harmonious equilibrium. It is a state of absolute balance, a physical and mental stillness so profound that even the concept of movement feels like a distant, forgotten memory. You are anchored to the quiet earth, held safely within the thick brick walls, enveloped in the timeless peace of the empty court. You let your awareness drift lazily toward the center of the room, drawn to the perfect, painted circle resting on the polished floor. It is a geometry of order, a gentle boundary that holds the quiet energy of the space. In your mind's eye, you trace the faded blue arc, following its smooth, uninterrupted curve. The paint is thick and permanent, soaked into the grain of the wood, a lasting testament to the thousands of slow, repetitive practices that have taken place here. You imagine the tall, quiet boy standing in that circle, his long, unhurried frame perfectly centered. You absorb the ghost of his focus, the lingering resonance of his dedication. It is not an active energy, but a settled one, a profound satisfaction that comes only after hours of solitary, peaceful effort. You breathe that satisfaction in, letting it fill the hollow spaces of your chest with a warm, glowing weight. The work of the day is entirely finished. There is nothing left to prove, nothing left to achieve. There is only this perfect, empty moment stretching out endlessly before you. The air in the gymnasium is heavy and still, a thick, comforting blanket that wraps around your resting shoulders and tucks you in safely against the darkness. It carries the familiar, nostalgic sense of the space, the clean, sharp polish of the floor wax, the dry, earthy dust of the canvas tumbling mats, the faint, comforting whisper of old leather. You take a slow, microscopic sip of this air, tasting the history of the building in every particle. It is a flavor of safety, of routines and quiet disciplines. As you exhale, your breath joins the invisible, circulating currents of the room, becoming a part of the slow, mechanical respiration of the building itself. You are breathing with the gymnasium, rising and falling in perfect synchronization with the rhythmic swoosh of the ceiling fans high above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The wooden blades slice lazily through the trapped warmth of the rafters, pushing the piece down toward you in slow, rolling waves. Outside, the misty Maryland rain continues its endless, whispering descent. SHHH, SHHH, SHHH. It is a delicate, watery metronome, marking the slow passage of the night in tiny, hushed syllables. You imagine the cool droplets gathering on the high, frosted glass panes, forming heavy, silvery tears that slide silently down into the dark. The sound is entirely muffled, filtered through the thick glass in the vast distance of the room, transforming it into a soft, static hiss that perfectly complements the low, electrical hum of the lights. The rain is a protective barrier, a liquid curtain that washes away the noise and the rush of the outside world, leaving your indoor sanctuary perfectly isolated, perfectly secure. You picture the wet, dark leaves on the trees beyond the walls, heavy with moisture, resting quietly in the cool air. The entire city is asleep, surrendered to the dark and the damp, and you are hidden away in the very center of it all, a glowing ember of warmth protected by the sturdy, ancient walls of the recreation center. The single basketball hoop at the far end of the court remains illuminated by the soft, golden light, a silent sentinel keeping watch over the empty floor. The bright orange paint of the rim is a warm, steady circle in the dimness, catching the light and holding it steady. Hanging beneath it, the white cotton net is absolutely motionless, a ghostly funnel of woven threads that has guided thousands of perfect shots to their quiet conclusion. You remember the sound of the ball passing perfectly through it, that soft, crisp rustle that signifies a flawless arc and a gentle release. Swish. You play the sound over and over in your mind, a hypnotic repeating loop that lulls your brainwaves into an even slower, deeper rhythm. Swish, swish, swish. It is a sound of pure satisfaction, a gentle confirmation that everything is perfectly aligned, perfectly balanced, perfectly at rest. You feel that same alignment within your own body, your mind, and your spirit resting together in absolute harmony. Your thoughts drift to the basketball resting in the very center of the court, exactly where the quiet kid left it. It is a heavy, solid sphere of orange leather, perfectly still, perfectly at peace. You imagine reaching out and placing your hands flat against its curved surface, feeling the thousands of tiny, raised pebbles, the smooth, recessed black channels. The ball is slightly cool to the touch, having surrendered its warmth to the ambient air of the room. It holds the potential for movement, but right now, it chooses to remain completely motionless, anchored by gravity to the polished wood. You share in that choice, actively embracing the heavy, unmovable state of your own limbs. Your arms are leaden, resting heavily at your sides. Your hands are open, your fingers completely slack, having let go of everything they carried during the waking hours. You are as still as the resting ball, entirely unbothered by the passage of time. The shadows in the far corners of the gymnasium seem to grow richer, deeper, slowly reaching out to claim the edges of the golden light. They are not empty spaces, but soft, velvety pools of deep comfort, waiting patiently to absorb any remaining traces of wakefulness you might still be holding onto. You imagine sliding slowly off the bleachers and walking silently toward one of those shadowed corners, your bare feet making absolutely no sound on the polished maple floor. You step into the darkness, feeling it wrap around you like a heavy, plush cloak, shielding your eyes from the light and offering a profound sensory deprivation that is incredibly soothing. The darkness is cool and quiet, a perfect counterpoint to the warm, droning center of the room. You stand in the shadows, completely hidden, completely safe, just another quiet element in a room entirely devoted to rest. From the depths of that shadowed corner, the faint, lingering smell of the canvas tumbling mats is slightly stronger. It is a dry, chalky aroma that brings with it a wave of nostalgic comfort. You remember the feeling of sinking into those thick mats, the way the dense foam yielded to your weight, cradling your body perfectly. You imagine lying back on those mats right now, feeling the cool, smooth vinyl against your skin, staring straight up into the endless, dark rafters above. The vastness of the ceiling would feel like a private, indoor sky, a sprawling canopy of steel and shadow that stretches out forever. You would be a tiny, resting speck beneath that massive structure, completely protected, completely insignificant in the best possible way. The weight of the world would be entirely lifted from your shoulders, transferred effortlessly to the solid, unyielding foundation of the brick building. The low hum of the light seems to shift slightly, dropping half an octave into an even deeper, more resonant frequency. It is a sound that vibrates in the very center of your chest, a gentle, mechanical purr that aligns perfectly with the slow waves of sleep washing over your brain. You let the sound wash through you, imagining it as a physical wave of warm water gently passing from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. As the wave passes, it smooths away any tiny, lingering thoughts, leaving behind a perfectly flat, glassy surface of pure, undisturbed calm. Your mind is an empty, beautiful room, echoing only with the slow, rhythmic swoosh of the ceiling fans and the distant, muffled tap of the misty Maryland rain. The heavy, double wooden doors at the far end of the hallway, the ones the tall boy passed through long ago, stand as a silent, steadfast barrier between your peaceful sanctuary and the sleeping world outside. You can picture them in your mind's eye, thick and solid, painted a deep, quiet green that blends into the shadows of the lobby. Their brass handles are cool and motionless, gathering the faint dust of the night. They are the guardians of your rest, ensuring that nothing can intrude upon the perfect, unbroken calm of the gymnasium. You feel a profound sense of gratitude for those heavy doors, for the secure perimeter they create, locking the quiet in and keeping the noise out. Behind them, the long, tiled hallway stretches out in the dim light, an empty corridor of echoes that slumbers peacefully, waiting for a morning that feels entirely irrelevant. The soft, green glow from the exit sign above those doors seems to seep slowly into your awareness, a thin, watery ribbon of emerald light that mixes with the golden amber of the overhead fixtures. The colors blend in the air, creating a rich, tranquil atmosphere that feels like a deep, underwater cavern. You imagine yourself resting at the bottom of this cavern, the heavy, warm water pressing gently against every inch of your skin. It is a sensation of total envelopment, a feeling of being completely held and supported by the environment itself. The light is so dim, so muted, that it does not register behind your closed eyelids as illumination, but simply as a warm, heavy color that paints your dreams with strokes of comfort and safety. You are floating in this colorful darkness, a quiet passenger on a slow, gentle current that is carrying you further and further away from the shores of wakefulness. You return your focus to the smooth, worn wood of the bleachers pressing against your back and legs. It is a firm, supportive embrace, alive with the memory of thousands of quiet nights just like this one. You feel yourself sinking deeper into the grain of the wood, your physical boundaries blurring as you become one with the quiet structure of the gymnasium. Your legs are the heavy support beams. Your spine is the solid backboard. Your relaxed, open hands are the smooth, polished planks. You are the building, and the building is you, both resting in the quiet depths of the Maryland night. The hum, the swoosh, the gentle rain, they all blend together into a single, unified lullaby that carries you away, leaving only the profound, beautiful silence of a perfectly peaceful slumber. You trace the invisible pathways of the wood grain beneath your resting fingertips. The bleachers feel less like simple planks of maple and more like living, breathing extensions of the peaceful earth. You can feel the subtle, microscopic ridges of the wood, the ancient growth rings of a tree that once stood in a silent, misty forest long before it became a part of this sanctuary. It is a comforting thought, realizing that you are resting upon a piece of nature that has simply changed its shape, continuing its long, slow existence in this warm, golden room. The wood is cool, yet it seems to absorb and reflect your own gentle body heat, creating a perfect, harmonious temperature that keeps you firmly anchored in your state of heavy relaxation. You press your hands softly against the smooth surface, grounding yourself in the undeniable reality of this quiet moment. The tension that you didn't even know you were still holding in your forearms and wrists melts away, seeping into the wood and vanishing forever. The wave of deep relaxation continues its journey, flowing gently into your hips and your lower back. You feel your spine softening, finding the perfect, natural curve against the wooden plank behind you. All the effort of holding yourself upright vanishes, replaced by a wonderful, trusting surrender to gravity. The warmth spreads across your abdomen, syncing with the slow, deep rhythm of your breathing. With every inhale, your stomach rises gently, drawing in the calm, waxy air of the room. With every exhale, it falls, releasing any hidden knots of stress or tension. Your chest feels open and spacious, your lungs expanding effortlessly in the warm atmosphere. Your shoulders, which carry so much weight during the day, finally drop completely, falling down and back, sinking heavily toward the wood. The relief is profound, a physical sigh that echoes through your entire torso. You are letting go of everything, piece by piece, muscle by muscle, breath by breath. The heavy warmth flows down your arms, a slow, soothing river of comfort. It washes over your biceps, your elbows, your forearms, loosening every fiber, untying every knot. It pools in your wrists, making them feel completely slack. It travels into your hands, resting softly in your lap. Your fingers uncurl one by one, the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the pinky. They lie perfectly still, heavy and relaxed, completely emptied of any desire to grasp or hold. Your hands feel large and warm, vibrating slightly with the deep, internal pulse of your own quiet circulation. You are completely at peace, a statue of pure relaxation resting in the golden light. Finally, the soothing wave reaches your neck and your head. The muscles at the base of your skull release their grip, allowing your head to rest fully against the wooden backboard. Your jaw goes completely slack, your lips parting just a fraction of an inch. Your tongue rests heavily in the bottom of your mouth. The tiny muscles around your eyes and across your forehead smooth out entirely, erasing any expression, leaving behind a face of pure, serene emptiness. Your scalp tingles softly, a final release of energy, before settling into complete stillness. Your entire body is now unified in a state of profound, immovable rest. You are floating on a dark, quiet ocean, supported only by the gentle hum of the lights, the faint whisper of the rain, and the slow, steady rhythm of your own calm breathing. In this state of deep bodily rest, your mind becomes a vast, open landscape, clear and unburdened. You return to the image of the basketball hoop at the far end of the court, the one bathed in the soft, amber light. The orange rim and the white cotton net stand as a quiet testament to patience and repetition. You imagine the tall boy again, not in motion, but in the peaceful energy he left behind. The dedication, the quiet focus, the simple joy of the routine, it is all absorbed into the very walls of the room, into the polished floor, into the woven canvas mats. You are breathing in his peace, sharing in the sanctuary he created. The gym is a vessel of calm, holding the echoes of perfectly arcing shots and softly swishing nets. You do not hear the sounds anymore. You simply feel the harmony they created, a deep, resonant balance that hums in the air around you. The long shadows in the corners of the room seem to stretch ever so slightly, inching their way across the floorboard, slowly reclaiming the golden light as the night deepens. It is a microscopic progression, the gentle turning of the earth, the slow, inevitable march of time that feels entirely suspended within these walls. You watch the edge of a shadow as it touches the painted blue line of the court, a soft, fuzzy border between the light and the dark. The darkness is not absolute. It is a rich, warm charcoal gray, soft and inviting. You feel a gentle pull toward that darkness, a desire to let your mind slip completely beneath the surface of the golden light, to sink into the quiet, velvety depths where even the hum of the lights and the whisper of the rain fade away into nothingness. You let your eyes close completely now. There is no need to look anymore. The visual world has done its job, painting a picture of perfect safety and calm in your mind. With your eyes closed, the feeling of the heavy, warm air on your skin becomes even more pronounced. It feels like a physical embrace, a soft, invisible blanket draped over your shoulders and tucked gently around your resting hands. You feel the absolute stillness of the air, broken only by the microscopic, rhythmic breath of the ceiling fans far above. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. It is the heartbeat of the room, slow, steady, and infinitely reassuring. You let your own heartbeat sync with it, a perfect, harmonious rhythm of rest. The physical sensations of your body begin to fade, replaced by a feeling of weightless floating. You can no longer tell where your hands end and the air begins. You can no longer feel the hard wood of the bleachers beneath you, only a soft, supportive pressure that holds you in space. You are drifting gently, rising and falling on the slow, rhythmic tide of your own breathing. In, out, rise, fall. It is a beautiful, hypnotic dance of nothingness. The hum of the lights is now just a faint, distant vibration in the core of your being, a gentle purr that tells you everything is exactly as it should be. The whisper of the rain is a distant memory, a soft shhh that has lulled you to the very edge of sleep. You exist only in this exact, perfect second. There is no past to remember, no future to anticipate. There is only the warm, golden darkness, the slow, rhythmic breath, the heavy, comforting peace of the empty gymnasium. You are a quiet observer of your own rest, watching yourself slip away into the deep, dark, welcoming embrace of the night. The silence is absolute, a thick, rich tapestry of stillness that covers everything. You are safe. You are warm. You are completely and utterly relaxed, drifting further and further away, deeper and deeper down, letting the quiet sanctuary of the old brick building hold you in its gentle, eternal calm, as you surrender completely to the endless, beautiful depths of a perfect, unbroken slumber.